Hello, good evening. This is Brother Benson Media, and today we are blessed to have this opportunity to just continue with the conversation. Of course, the political conversation which has been continuing here in Kenya since, let me say the whole of this week. And to our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media. Here we say that your opinion counts. If you will be watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us, na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. Before I give Miguda a chance to say hi, allow me to acknowledge the presence of Gypsy Corner at the comment section. Gypsy Corner aliingia long time ago. Aliingia around 30 minutes, almost 30 or 20 minutes ago. And already there are consistent communication at the comment section. Allow me to also acknowledge the presence of Judith Karwith at the comment section. Judith is saying hi to Gypsy Corner and to you, Miguda. And then give you a chance, Miguda, to say hi to our viewers before we get into the discussion.
Okay, thank you, Makobura. I also want to pass my greetings to Gypsy Corner. I also want to pass my greetings to Judith Karwitha. And I also want to pass my greetings to you as our host. And also appreciate each and everybody on the comment section. The people who are watching and the people who are watching for the future. We welcome to the show. And we say here and here after. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Miguda for also finding time to join us this evening. I hope I'm clear, loud and clear. Can confirm if my internet is okay. Yesterday I had a problem with my internet. I hope today it is okay. Am I clear enough,
Loud
Miguda?
and clear. Loud and clear.
Okay, very well. Okay, thank you so much. And to our viewers, I want to take this opportunity once again to welcome you all as we, continue this conversation. Of course, as the topic of today is why Ruto and Ichung'Wa wants Kiambu out of Mount Kenya, and that is a topic that, of course, the people are speaking and talking about it, and we also thought it wise to also just give our view and our take as others are also giving their views and their take. First, Miguda, I'll start with you. You know, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? There was a meeting that was held in State House where leaders from the Kiambu County were actually welcomed to the State House. And while they were having a conversation with the president, Ichung'Wa gave a proposal that Kiambu Kiambu itself should be considered as a region on its own, not part of the Mount Kenya. I think he meant that because of the number of people within Kiambu and what Kiambu does in terms of politics of the Republic of Kenya. And that, of course, brings me to this question. Why do you think Kimani Ichung'Wa would come and say that Kiambu should be treated as a region, but I mean, as one of those, I mean, as the Mount Kenya region, the way we've always known? And then what are the implications, or what does that mean in terms of politics? And how is that beneficial? How is that beneficial to that region? Suppose, as per their wishes, they are granted that region, or it is then considered as a region. How is that going to help that region? And then something else that you can give me your take on is, you know, we saw the deputy president also gave similar remarks, and he did say that Kiambu should be treated as a region, not as part of the Mount Kenya. What is your take, Miguda?
Kiambu, in my understanding, after Nairobi, it's one of the county with the highest number of people, and even in terms of registration of voters, it's us more people who are registered in the voters card and voters register. And you find out that Nairobi has got many people, vis-a-vis Kiambu has also got many people. You find out that people residing in Kiambu are not Mount Kenya people. To start with, even you, Makobura, we have stayed with you in Kiambu. We have resided in Kiambu, and even in terms of education, you find out that we have some campuses like Kikuyu campus, the Lower Kabete, Upper Kabete. You find that many people who have gone to school to study in those institutions, some of them end up being residents in those regions. They don't go back home. And if you go to Lari on your way to Naivasha, and even if you go to Kiambu town actually, or if you are using that eastern bypass, you find out that there are people who are not Kikuyus and are permanent residents into the Kiambu region to begin with. So if we say that it should be a region of itself, maybe he's being informed by the fact that it is a cosmopolitan. That's according to him. But you understand that it has touched Nairobi. It's part of Nairobi. So you find that because of the employment seeking, sometimes if you are working in Nairobi, you can be placed in Kiambu. You can reside in Kiambu and work in Nairobi. Most people who are working in the people working in Westlands, most of them do resides in Kiambu. And maybe you have gone to seek job, then you have been placed in Kiambu. So I think that's why they are saying we should reconsider it to be a region of itself, maybe regional. So they want to make it look like maybe like Nairobi. Nairobi is a region of itself, so Kiambu should be a region of itself, just like Nairobi. Or they can merge the Kiambu and Nairobi. Yeah, and you can even see my good friend Judith Karita say most people call some part of Kiambu Nairobi. And actually, even when I was living in Kiambu, I used to tell people at home that I'm in Nairobi and I was in Kiambu. I never even knew that I was in Kiambu. So it's when people are telling me, no, where you are is not Nairobi, you are in Kiambu. But I've been in Kiambu, I've lived in Kiambu for many years. And me, I've been treating it as part of Nairobi because I've been living in Kiambu, but I'm doing my businesses in Nairobi. So it's like to me, it's normal because I have been moving from Kiambu to Nairobi. So you find out based on that region, based on that understanding, they might want to merge it. That let us merge it, or we give it a specific region. But you understand that Mount Kenya initially we have the central province, so it is part of central province former, just like any other any other region in that county in that region. But because of current political discourse in the country, people like Kimani Ichung'Wa who are coming from Kiambu, and people like Kindiki who want to get some part of the Mount Kenya to support him to be second. So they can do many things. Maybe they want to isolate Kiambu so that they can. And even if you look at Kiambu generally, leave alone the permanent Kikuyu residents, the non-Kikuyu permanent residents are many, and most of them are registered voters because it is not only Kikuyus who are voters in Kiambu. We have non-Kikuyus who are permanent residents and they are registered voters in Kiambu. So if you look at in terms of population, you find out there are many people who are non-Kikuyus. They are forming part of that region. So when it comes to in terms of when it comes to in terms of when it comes in terms of voting, I can tell you that it is cosmopolitan. You can't just specify that this is. And even there was a time I was living in those sides of those sides of Karura Forest. I was living in those sides of Karura Forest, those sides of Karura SDA Church. I've just forgotten the name. Gashio. I was living somewhere called Gashio. So when I was living in Gashio, I used to come to Parklands. So from Gashio to Parklands, I used to pay 50 bob to and fro. But I was still telling people at home that I'm in Nairobi, and they could not deny the fact that I was in Nairobi. So and in that Gashio, we were so many non-Kikuyu residents. And I remember even when we were going to church, Karura SDA Church, Kisis and Luos, and the Mount Kenya people were not there, and even the leadership structure. So you find that in terms of population, it is more of a cosmopolitan, whereby you find different ethnic community who are permanent residents and who are doing their education, their job, but mostly find out that even some people are just residing, but they're operating in town. Maybe like after if you are in Parklands or Westlands, you can easily access it from Gashio, from Kabete, from Ruaka. So you understand Banana, Bano. So I've been a good customer in that route. So I think that's why they want to put it like the residents, the population, the registered voters in that region are not, they are not Mount Kenya people exclusively, but they are people from different part of the country. Because Nairobi is congested, some people have seen deem it fit to occupy Kiambu. Kiambu has been a soft landing for Nairobi resident vis-a-vis Kajiado. You understand Kajiado also. Many people have sought to go to Kajiado and Machakos, and also those sides of Eastern Bypass if you go to Kitengela. So they are not part of Nairobi, but people have find soft landing because you can access town very easily. So I think based on the political discourse and the people want to deny access of the voting pattern in Kiambu to be taken by the opposition, that we can divide it, because it is not only the Kikuyu residents who are here, but here we have people from different communities. Now, like I've told you, if you go to Karura SDA, you'll find most of them are Kizis, and the Kizis are many in Gashio. And you find out that even if you go to those estate,
Do you know there's a difference between Gashie, is it Gasio?
I
Do you
know,
know?
I know, I know, I know very
So
well.
Sammy here is
I know.
saying it's Gashie, Kino, etc., not Gasio. So maybe Sammy
Yeah,
ajui kwamba
Gashie.
kuna
So I think my nini, I think my pronunciation is failing me. But Sam is saying that it's Gachie. But I used to say Gashie. So I used, you see Gachie. You know Gachie doesn't sound very well. When I was paying my when I was paying my nauli, I used to say Nenda Gashio. But I know
Gasio is a
the
different
one even by
place.
Gashio, the one is saying Gashio. This one called Gasio. So you understand they have been written and pronunciation. So then Gasio, those Lower Kabete. If you go to Lower Kabete, you go to Gasio, then you go to, I think Gasio, then you go to certain market there. But Gachie, the one is saying we used to Gashio. So I'm saying Gashio. Okay, Gashio, whatever. But you understand those sides of Karura Forest on your way to Karura, outside Karura Forest. If you go outside. There's a certain center by the name. So I think that's what they're trying to do, Makobura. In terms, I've just explained to you that we have been living in Kiambu, but we are not residents of. We are not the Kikuyus. So they are trying to make it look like this Kiambu County is not exclusively for the Kikuyu nation. So you cannot, maybe, but I've not said that is the actual thing. That's just my own observation.
Okay, I'm coming back to you. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Sami Costa at the comment section. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Donna Shem at the comment section. Our good friend Gypsy Corner at the comment section, and of course Judith at the comment section. And to our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If maybe you're there and you want to give your take, and especially if you're coming from Kiambu or the Mount Kenya region, you want to tell us what might be the reason why they want to exclude Kiambu from the Mount Kenya region. Maybe you can just click. I've shared a link at the comment section. You can click the link, this link here, and it will direct you to the studio. And then maybe you can as well give us your take. Sammy here is saying Kiambu is cosmopolitan. I agree with you. And of course, that brings me to this question. Mr. Migura, if suppose it is, if suppose whatever they're thinking of, excluding Kiambu from the Mount Kenya region, politically, how does it benefit the people who stays within Kiambu themselves? Are there any political benefits that they're going to get? And of course, in matters of political negotiation, how is it going to benefit? And especially the people who stay within Kiambu, not forgetting, of course, it is a cosmopolitan, and quite a number of people who also stay there are not residents of Kiambu County. Are they also going to get any political benefit in that case? And again, you can give us your take. Why do you think it is, they're bringing this kind of conversation at this particular time? What could be wrong? Have they seen something in political manner that they might achieve if they come up with that narrative? Or why do you think there there is that mentality that is being forced now at this particular time? Is it for the beneficial of their political interest, or is it a benefit that is going to, the residents are going to get? Meguda?
Okay, I've just realized that Gachie, whereby I used to be at Kiamba constituency. So that's the headquarters of Kiamba constituency. So when I was at Kiamba constituency, that's where I used to sleep. But daytime I was in Parklands. So you understand, that is why I'm telling that it's cosmopolitan. And this is why I was saying it, that it might be politically influenced, is because you find out that in terms of registered voters, after Nairobi County, the second largest is Kiambu County in terms of registered voters. So it's a very significant number when it's come to our election in Kenya. What if, just like we have known that the Mount Kenya people are not going to vote for William Ruto, that's a fact, and there's no way you can persuade them to vote for them. It's late. They already made their mind that they are going to vote for any other person. And even they were saying, Bora hata Kondoa but si Ruto. So if in Kiambu County, they want to take advantage of the cosmopolitan nature of it, because if they are having the IBC conducting elections in the polling stations, whereby the presidential election is final at polling station, you understand the main things. I don't want to go into details, but I can view it whereby they can say, because Gashaga was saying that they have 4 million votes. The 4 million votes, including the 2 million from Kiambu, or maybe 1.9 million. I don't know. So, when you say that we have 4 million, the largest county the votes is Kiambu. They want to counter that narrative that it is not 4 million, because out of those 2 million, a million is from other tribes. So you can't claim that the entire Kiambu is a Kikuyu nation, even if they are the majority. But the fact that is a cosmopolitan, the even 800,000 does not belong to them. I think that's what they're trying to counter, so that when it comes to the presidential election at the polling station, they'll claim that you said you got a 4 million, but 1 million was not exclusively for the Mount Kenyan people. There are other tribes living in Mount Kenya. They are forming part of that register. Because, like I've told you, me, I've lived in Kiamba. And if I'm a registered member, I'm a registered voter in Kiamba. And I'm not a Kikuyu. But I'll be counted like I'm a registered in Kiambu County. So they're trying to tell us, okay, these 4 million votes you are talking about, it is not exclusive for the Mount Kenya people. There are other people who are living in those regions around Mount Kenya. And the first to begin with is the Kiambu County. And Kiambu County is a bit practical example, like I've told you. If you look at those sites of, let's say, Gashio, whatever, you'll find that there are many people who are not Mount Kenyan people residing in those small towns. And even if you go to Kiamba, the headquarters, I've told you, the Gashie one, if you go to the outskirts, you'll find the Mount Kenyan people. But within the town, there are other people, other tribes living there. And that's why sometimes when I used to walk in evening, I used to go to the outskirts, inside the villages. And that's where I will meet the Kikuyu girls and boys, and also Kikuyu men and men. And I used to even to have some bunge la wananchi there with them. And those times the Raila was competing against Ruto. And they were telling me, huyu mzee wa kitendawili akienda upande hivi anavaa kama watu wako. So I remember vividly that most of them actually are residing in the outskirts. But within the towns, you find, because of the apartments, many people who have not gotten chances to live within the Nairobi, they tend to move to Kiambu County. So I think that's why they are trying to argue, according to them, that let us make it look at this. This is a cosmopolitan city or town or county or region. So the 2 million doesn't belong to the Mount Kenya. It belongs to Mount Kenya plus other communities. That is my point.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miguda. And maybe politically, what is changing? What is changing in Kiambu, and not just Kiambu? The engineer, the person who came up with this kind of thinking, Honorable Ichung'Wa. He also said that he might not get re-elected as a member of parliament in Kikuyu, and he's not really worried about that. My question to you is, why do you think he's at this particular time, and why would one of leaders who are loved by the people of that region today can come out and say that they might not get re-elected? And why again do you think he's still sticking? Remember, he did say sometimes back that he'll be the last person. If suppose people are leaving the president, then he'll be the last person to you know to leave him. Why do you think he was making such kind of comments? Good.
I think one of the popular candidates of our time by then was Kimani Ichung'Wa. Because I remember when I went to Kikuyu campus, I used to go to Kikuyu campus several times. That is where I think the constituency is. We used to be there for a long time. Those Presbyterian church headquartered there, we used to be there for a quite long time. So There was a time, I don't know if it is 2017 or, but I think 2017, when we had Jubilee Party, there was nobody who was contesting for the Kikuyu parliamentary seat on by-elections, on primaries, not by-election, on primaries, on party primaries. So he was the only candidate. And I think he was given free party ticket. Then when it comes to election, I think there was also no one contesting against him in Kikuyu constituency. So he was never elected. He was declared the Kikuyu constituency lawmaker. That one made him more popular, and power got into his head. And I think in 2022, the person who was competing him almost came closer to him, and that's when he wanted to fight the DCI. So this person, power has gotten into his head, and I can assure you he's not going to be re-elected, because in that Kikuyu constituency, I've also lived there. If you are not in the headquarter, the town where the school is or the Presbyterian church is, if you try to move deep into the outskirts, there are so many Kikuyus people there, Kikuyu nation. So you find out that Kimani Ichung'Wa is unpopular in Kikuyu constituency, but the matrix gonna favor him. That's why he's too loud about it. But I don't know whether they want to seek re-election or gubernatorial, whatever. But I can just tell you that as far as I'm concerned, from the historical perspective of it, in 2017, it was unopposed, it was undisputed, and he won. He was declared. 2022, he had a competitor. So I think as time goes by, people are getting bored with him.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you so much, Miguda. Allow me to welcome our good friend. It's been long. It's been long. The last time nilikuona, I think we've taken almost 2 months now. Karibu, and you say hi. And as you'll be saying hi, you can give us your take on what you think about Ichung'wa's comments and the Deputy President Kithure Kindiki's comments. They are saying that Kiambu should be excluded from the Mount Kenya region. And the question you're asking is, why are they coming up with this at this particular time? How are they going to benefit politically? And if there's anything that, for example, the people of Kiambu, as they are saying, are going to benefit, ni vitu kama nini hayo watu wa Kiambu watapata, whether political appointments, whether political empowerment, whether economical empowerment in that region. What exactly are we expecting? Suppose that their wishes are given.
Yeah, thank you very much. Is it Kevin Mako? I forget his names. Makobura.
Makobura,
Can you hear me?
yes. Yes, I
Yeah,
can hear you.
Nice seeing you. Nice
Thank
seeing
you.
you. I actually, this is news to me. You are actually telling me about what Ichung'Wa said. I didn't hear what I haven't had the speech from Ichung'Wa and Kibiki about Kiambu. But what I would say is this. I agree with what Raila Odinga said about reducing 47 counties into seven. I've always thought that we should have kept the 7 provinces. Was it not 7, 8? 8 provinces that we had. Because this devolution thing with 47 counties was unnecessary. But my take on that, Raila is a seasoned politician. So he might say that he wants he wants 7 constituencies, but he has a hidden agenda on it. Because Raila, he's right. I agree with him. We need that 7 counties. To me, I would keep it 8. But I think Raila cares more about the other one. Let me explain this. Give me a minute. In order for us to go back to the 8 provincial constituencies or 7, we will need to go to a referendum. Okay, people have to vote on it. But the thing is, here's the mischief in that. Raila comes out and says that something that most constitutionalists or lawyers would agree, that it's better to manage the country if you have 8 or 7 provinces than if you have 47, okay? But the mischief is, when we go to a referendum, that will not be the only issue that we vote for. It won't be we are voting for only, hi, Gypsy Corner, nice seeing you, my good friend. It won't be just voting for 7 provincial areas that we should go revert back to. He will also throw in the expansion of the executive branch, okay, in order to accommodate the people who are going to be vying in 2027. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is I wanted to make a bigger point, and I want to make a video about this, but I will just say this here, so maybe you guys can explore it very quickly, because I know Miguda want to say something. If you listen to Gachagwa's interview, he said something that really caught my eye. He said, "Oh, why are you guys blaming me for, for saying certain things or negotiating for 8 positions in the CSs when we won the elections, and you call me a tribalist, while Raila came to government and negotiated for 4, and he already got that four positions." So which means, and when Okwara kept on asking him, he kept on saying, that's how our politics has been run. And majority of people say, okay, that's how Kenyans run their politics. We want, we kind of have our regional tribal chieftains come into a coalition with another regional chieftain, then they run for president, and then when they win, the pre-planned arrangement that they had is what will be implemented. Now, Akirukwa, you end up with a Gachagua position where you have somebody who will attack your administration. So what I'm saying is this: I think we should limit, or not limit, but when we review the Constitution, we should have very clear prerequisites or requisites that require somebody to form a political party. So if you start a DCP, you have to be you have to have a clear, concise goal or manifesto, not only manifesto, political ideology, and also a following. Okay, just like, for example, let me use the US for example. In the US, the reason why Democrats and Republicans have always dominated the US politics, party politics, is because there's a threshold. You have to meet a certain number of demographic number of people support that you have in order to take part in the debates and also to be a party to vie for presidency. So that's something that should be adopted, so we don't have this whole coalition nonsense that is basically tribal cocoons that come together and, stand up and say they're okay, this is our political party. But anyway, going back to the point that you're saying about Kiambu, it stems back to the bigger point, which is, and I'll keep it short so that Migura can come in. These corporations, these political parties, they are nothing but individuals who are rich, who have money, and they start these political parties to conjoin with other political parties, bigger political parties per se, in order to avoid facing the law. Because I always maintain that the biggest problem in Kenya is not corruption. The biggest problem in Kenya is law enforcement. No one enforces the law. We have very good constitution. We have laws that are there that deal with people who are corrupt. But the problem is we have tribal chieftains. When they get into trouble for corruption, they go, associate themselves with these bigger political parties, which are nothing but coalition groups of different tribal chieftains, okay? That way they seem invisible, and the DCI is intimidated to bring charges against them. The judiciary is intimidated to bring charges against them. So you have a system where there's rules for the wananchi of Kenya, and there's rules for the political class. So when this political class, that's why Gachagua was saying, I can run for presidency. You saw, he gave him an example of Moloka, whatever the case is. The guy was charged and went to prison and won elections, and he was released. Where does that happen? How can you go to jail, in prison, condemned, then you come out and you run for president, whatever the position, and you're released from jail and you become a governor or whatever the case is? That is not something that we should be standing here and listening. That's why Gachagua was so confident saying that I'm going to run for president and I'm going to be on the ballot. So what I'm saying is this: we have to have a system where the constitution and the laws therein that are, because the laws that we legislated should be in accordance to the constitution, should be enforced. Which means if William Ruto breaks the constitution, he should be able to be brought to account and even impeached for that. Therefore, we don't have a society where the law only is enforced when Miguda has broken the law, but when Sifuna has broken the law, Sifuna cannot be arrested. That's what I mean. And that's where the problem stems from. The tribalism and corruption can only thrive because these people, when their names is brought in the political, in the public domain, they try to make it a tribal issue. Oh, I am being persecuted because I'm a lawyer. I'm being persecuted because I'm a Kikuyu. I'm being persecuted because I'm a Luo. Okay? And that's why they keep on perpetuating this aura of tribalism and corruption. But the real problem is we do not have a law enforcement that actually can bring these people to account. So while I agree with Raila Odinga, we should go back to the 8 provinces, I just don't trust Raila because I think Raila is using that to get people to agree to support this idea of changing the constitution so we can go back to the 8 provinces. But his real agenda is actually to change the executive branch. Because remember, this is that step of NADCO that requires the constitution to be changed. But they want that, they're using that to get people to support the change of, they're using that to have people to come on board to support this idea of changing the constitution, but they will throw in that little statute that says that we should accommodate the Musalia Mudavadis, the Wamunyoros, the Wamalwas, the Karuas to be part of the executive. Maybe they become prime minister or whatever the case is. But he's using this idea of reducing the constituency to 7 or 8 provinces. Anyway, I'll stop there so you can continue. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, KR, for giving us your take. We really appreciate. And Miguda, I'll also give you a chance to give your take on what do you think about Raila's comment on the issue of reducing the number of counties, and what is your take? And can that really, what the people of Kenya are looking for, of course, is good governance. They are looking for service delivery. They're looking for a country where things are working. Do you think reducing the counties will help the people of Kenya, Mr. Miguda?
Oh, okay, first I want to pass my greetings to Kenya Rebel. And I can see it's daytime where you are. I can see sun in your background. Okay. I just wanted to say, first, Kanyamkagu. Okay. So I just want to say this, Makubura, because
Kanyamkago, umesema Kanyamkago kuna jua. I also want to come to Kanyamkago in my next life.
Okay, so I'm saying It is true. Initially when you look at the BBI, they were proposing that let us increase the fund from 50% to 35 to counties, or 45 so, or maybe and 55 at the national level. So to me, when now they're discussing the issue whereby they want to reduce now counties other than funding counties, it's like it's a clever way to entice the public, because you understand, if some other referendum, we must go to the public. So how do you go to the public? And that's where Raila has been insisting that whether I'm unpopular, but NGCDF must go. Because if you take the issue of NGCDF to the public, that okay, we want this NGCDF to get out of the hands of the MPs, but they have refused. The people will support you. That if that is the case, let us support. So I think one of the things they want to entice people is the NGCDF, and also reducing 47 to 7 in the case whereby they want to make people understand that these governors are corrupt, the county is corrupt, the parliament is corrupt, MPs are corrupt. So the people, we want to take this thing to you. We are removing it from the hands of the MPs. So it's one of the way to entice people. But basically, they want to amend the structure of the governance, the executive structure. And the executive structure, for you to amend it, Article 267 talked about popular initiative and also talked about parliamentary initiative. But if there are structures like the executive, if you must touch them, you must go to the popular initiative, to the people. So you cannot go to the people that you want to change the structure of the executive, minus having things like, we want to get rid of the NCDF, we want to reduce the council. So I think that's another clever way to interfere with the structure of the government. But deep down, they want to introduce prime minister, 2 deputies, things like the official opposition, so that these people, like you understand, after elections, we can accommodate everybody. What they have been saying, that everybody should be accommodated, so that we don't end up having people outside the government. That was my point before, because that was the intention of the BBI. But that's why they were saying, okay, let us give them 17 constituencies in Kikuyu nation, but also let us increase 15 to 35. When you tell people that we are going to bring funds to the county from 15% to 35, people are going, okay, that's okay, because you are going to disperse funds into the county. So it's going to be popular. People will come out to vote. So you want to make people in wrangles with the MPs. MPs, you have to make public look like, okay, members of parliament are corrupt. That's why Ruto was saying extortions. These people are corrupt because they want to bring a referendum. And I think right now they are trying to be very, very careful, because you understand, the other time BBI, when we went to court, we were done with them. And right now, look at their proposals. None have touched the judiciary. Initially, the BBI was like, they were introducing ombudsman, that the ombudsman was going to be the head of the judiciary. Like that no judge or magistrate could have allowed that thing to pass. So right now they have played a bit clever by avoiding judiciary by all means, but they have introduced issues like the counties. They have introduced issues from the parliament, from the counties, to make the public to have feelings, and also they have remained silent in the executive, but back in their mind, they want to amend the structure of the executive. That's why Raila was saying, we are with the route up to 27. From 27, then we decide from there. So if they can implement NADCO, and if they can agree on the 10-point agenda, and if they can change the structure of the executive, then they will go to election, like 2 of them. So I think it is just a referendum coming. And that's why they were saying, let us give the expertise up to next year on, I think, February. They'll have the final report. So that is my view. That is, there's an intention to change the structure of the government, but you must have some provisions that are going to look like sugary to the public for them to assist you to amend the constitution.
Okay. Thank you so much. I don't know whether KR, you want to say something about what Miguda said before we get into another question.
I think he has just explain better than me what I was trying to say. In order to get people to agree to a referendum, you have to give them something that will drive them to 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 be enthusiastic about the idea of changing the constitution. So what Raila is putting out there is saying, oh, there's too many counties, let's have 7. So if you hear that, you say, oh yeah, you know what? These governors have been eating money. That's like we already know that these governors are corrupt. So we'll be, hey, yes. That will eliminate this corruption in these 47 counties. So let's go vote for that. But again, they will have a mini, like we would have said, there'll be, little statutes there that says, they'll be expanding the executive branch, which will create position for, prime ministerial position, deputy prime ministerial position, to accommodate these busybodies we see like Wamalwa, Karoa, and everybody else. That's the real intention. But they want to market it as if they want to reduce the number of counties to revert back to 8. So that's a good explanation by Migoda. Just to go back to Gypsy Corner, because she's an ardent follower of this channel and others, and she's saying that I'm agreeing with Raila. And, it's not like I agree with Raila. He has said something that makes sense. But I know his intention. My intention and Raila's intention is different. So let me tell my friend Gypsy Corner that that's the difference between me and Raila. Raila is saying that so he can bring the real reason why they want to change this constitution. The whole point is this, in just a mention very quickly. They want you to have this urge to embrace this idea that we should have a referendum. That's the whole point. That's why they're talking about, reducing the number of governors. But in real sense, they want to implement the next step of the NADCO, which requires them to go to the referendum, because they can't change it. You can't change the structure of governance through the parliament. So you have to go back to the people. But you have to present it to the people as if it's a matter of governors, reducing governors. But the real intention is actually, bringing this whole idea of extension of this executive body with prime ministerial position and all this stuff. So I'm total agreement with Miguda there. That's all I can say. So Gypsy Corner, I hope you understood what I meant. I'm not in agreement with Raila.
Okay, thank you so much, KR. And something else that I wanted to hear your take on is the issue of SHA. We've been having some problems within SHA, and we've seen members of parliament from Kenya Moja group. They've come out and they're calling out the cabinet secretary in charge of health, that is Miss Honorable Duale. They're saying that he should resign because under his watch, quite a number of corrupt dealings has happened within that ministry. And, on the other hand, the SHA leader, the cabinet in charge, is saying that those members of parliament are accusing him because he has delisted, some of the hospitals that they are operating. And this is not the first time that Kenyans are losing money through SHA. And not just SHA. The other time, you remember, Kenyans lost a huge amount of money from the e-citizen platform, and it came to our attention that e-citizen, it's a company that is not even that is not owned by the government, but is owned by some individuals. And the question is, tutafika, at what point will we stop seeing such kind of dramas? At what time will we stop seeing such kind of lack of accountability in the Republic of Kenya? Because Kenyans are working hard. They wake up every day, they make money, they pay taxes, and then instead of a government coming out, of course, the people who have been elected and given the position to do the right thing in ensuring that, uh, the whatever the people of Kenya have collected is safeguarded and it helps the people of Kenya. That is not happening. KR, what is your take? How are we going to solve this? And what is your view on the calls that the minister should resign?
I want to connect it with what I was just looking at Mbadi was saying that the what is it? E-procurement or something cannot be undone by
the e-procurement. Yeah, it's
the
the
e-procurement.
e-procurement platform. Yeah.
Yes, cannot be undone by the legislative body. Because you say that's a matter of the CSS and the executive, using this, web-based, internet-based, whatever program to procure stuff. And I was sitting there thinking, the legislative body, they are the direct representation of the people who are sovereign. And the executive branch, where the CS are operating under, they are employees of the sovereign people. So for him to come out and say that the legislative body has no power to speak on that issue, it's an affront to the Kenyan people. Ni kama ni kukutukana. What I'm saying is this. I know when I talk about revolution, people might think that I'm radical, which I am. And Miguda, you can put my name there so you can, not Miguda, but Makoure. We have to have radical solutions for these radical problems. Sure, every day we see people posting, exposing this scam that, they send I don't know how many millions to this hospital. And when you look at that hospital, it's nothing. It's just a bunch of bush, somewhere. And Kenyans are sitting pretty, talking about, let's wait for 2027, where we shall vote, and we shall vote the Edwin Duale's out. And I'm thinking to myself, what are we waiting for? What will be the issue that actually makes Kenyan rise up and say, you know what? We are actually being played. Enough is enough. Let's stand up and change things. Because the politicians, your representatives, your MPs, I mean, we had that MP from Uganda who told us that we've passed this SHA for you, President Ruto. So they're not even representing us. They're representing Ruto's interest, not even us, the people. So at some point, that's why I keep on going back to Article 1, which gives us the power. It describes us, the people, as the sovereigns who gets to decide how we charter our future. That's the reason why I'm saying, what will it take for us to be so enraged, outraged, to the point where we say enough is enough? We need to stop this. Okay? Because none of these people can stop anything. I mean, the president is telling us that, Mhongo is being given, the corruption is happening, people are given 10 million or whatever the case is. So the system is dysfunctional. Okay? And if the system is dysfunctional, we have to hit the reset button. And the only way to hit the reset button is to do what? Go back to the first article, which says that we, the people, have the power. Not only, I know people are talking about recalling these MPs, and I see Brother Benson coming in. I don't know if he was recalled from whatever he was doing. But what I'm saying is this. We should go back to it, because if every arm of government is compromised, IBC, judiciary, legislative body, the executive is running the show, then we, the people, should go back and say, hey, we need to start afresh. We're going to choose a new IBC, we're going to choose a new legislative body, we're going to choose a new judiciary, we're going to choose a new executive. So what is happening with this SHA, and just to speak on this Umoja, Kenya Umoja, I think Kenya Moja, whatever the case is, which consists of Babu Wino and Sifuna and that lady, I forgot his name, Wamuchomba. To me, I look at it as an appendage of the broad-based government. Because I always say here, if you watch my channel, if you follow me, I will say this and you guys can challenge me. If Babu Owino and Sifuna mean what they say, and they are at odds with what their official party position is, as a matter of principle, they should resign from their seat as ODM members and run. The election is the 27th of this month. Is it this month or some? No, November. Sorry.
November, next month.
November. Thank you. And run as independent. Therefore, they can actually, have their own political party, and challenge what this broad-based government is doing. But they are barking in the churches in the weekends. But at the end of the day, you'll see them standing there in front of Wanga and Raila Odinga saying, we support what Baba is saying, and they are political. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is this. The system cannot audit itself. The system cannot overhaul itself. The system cannot correct itself, because the people who are in the system are the beneficiary of this corrupt system. So we have to go back to Article 1, where we, the people, decide, no, this is enough. Let's hit the reset button and hold these people accountable, and use the same constitution to hold these people accountable and have them charged for those that spent that 104 billion that was used on this SHA program to face the full extent of the law. Anything besides that is just drama na vipindre na dinio ya town. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Kenya Rebel, for your contribution. And I see our good friend Gypsy saying hi, I'm here. Maybe I came in the middle of conversation, but like there's so many questions, especially when you look at it critically in terms of everything that is happening from the time that the Right Honorable Prime Minister was calling for referendum. There are so many things that point out to that referendum call, because remember, from the President Uhuru's time to today, there's one thing that has always been pushed for, and this is about the issue of referendum. And if you look at what is this that is driving referendum, what is that driving referendum? There must be something that is constant in the referendum. If you're very keen, it is about the positions. That is something that it's trying to be fulfilled here, because one, it is arguable that especially like the leader of opposition has to be to put the government in check. And if you look at the nature of our politics, when you push for that, and even those positions are created, what are they trying to do? What they're trying to do, they're trying to balance off the leaders and make sure that each and every region is accommodated, because at the end of the day, they're the people who own these political parties. When you create that position, so what happens is that they will, all of them, those who are political parties, will benefit. And with the coalition, so sometimes you ask, are the referendum really what we need? Yeah, is it what we need at the moment? And this one brings me back to time when the Constitution of 2010. And if you're very keen enough, there's something that I've always pointed out, that what really we did wrong was that the political class was so much ahead of Kenyans, especially when it comes to the Constitution of 2010, especially on the issues of the counties. And the counties, this is what my own opinion, I don't think it might be, I don't, maybe the reason, what I think is that the political class during the making of that constitution, Mr. Miguda, you will help us, coming up with the counties was not necessary, because I think there are so many suggestions that were brought in during the processes that were turned down in terms of counties. So what was happening in the counties was that it was also a way in which to balance, especially the regions. Yeah, and they were looking at it in terms of the regions. If to say like a region have so many counties, you're looking at how many, the money that is going to go. But if that could have been intention, but the intention more was about the controlling of the masses, because we knew very well that these counties, with our political parties, it will be that one county will be controlled by one political party. So which means that that county will be formed by one government. And now, if that one county is formed by that one government, now accountability and transparency, how are you going to do it? Because you will find one county as all members of one party from that region are in that party. So who is going to raise objection, especially when it comes to accountability and transparency? Then one thing that also was also seen, because like you find that in those constituencies or in those counties where one political party has over control, the political party actually has the control of that government. So you find it is not very easy to hold them to account. Maybe some of the resolutions that are passed in the party can affect what is happening in the county, you know. So that is something that I see. But now come to even the suggestion that the Right Honorable Prime Minister was suggesting. Yes, but this is something that people saw before, that we say that the Kenya was too tiny to have that, you know. But now, why at this moment? And if you look at it now, we are creating tiers. We want to create that tiers. We can remain with the counties and create what we call the regional governments. What does that one do? Based on how, especially ethically, or how we are with our kind of leadership. Because like you look at our leadership, corruption thrives. Yeah. So what does that one mean? Is it going to solve the issues? So which means if we create the more positions we create, the more dents of corruption we are creating. But is it going to solve the solutions that we have? No. So the only thing that will help us here is about creating leadership that understands. If we have leadership that understands what they are doing and what is challenging the masses, then it will work. Because tell me, for example, if what has been published about Homa Bay, it is true, how are you going to solve that? How are you going to solve a situation whereby on how even the payment according to the pay slip that have been raised and the somebody that has been given? Because that one still comes back to the leadership and integrity and the values. What is it going to solve? Go ahead.
I don't know what happened in. Is it Migori that you just mentioned? Something coming.
It is Homa Bay. Homa Bay.
What happened there?
Just to go. Somebody has decided to take the pay slip and put it on the on the social media of particular people who they feel have been given the positions that they do not fit. Yeah. And I saw somebody has two pay slips. Yeah. One of them is earning maybe 25. Another one is earning around almost 100 and something. By the time all deduction are done, you're remaining with 90 something thousand. But same person with the two pay slips. So, so you ask yourself, how can we solve those issues?
Yeah. Okay. So to me, and this is my opinion, this is what I think. There's one lawyer who said laws influence the culture. I'll repeat again. Laws influence a culture. So Brother Benson, if you're from Migori and the law in Migori says you cannot marry until you turn 45, you know, even if you go to Sakwa, you'll find it difficult to marry if you are not 45 yet, because you've been influenced by the law from Migori, because where in Migori you don't marry until you turn 45. So what I'm trying to say is this, in not so many words, is this: don't look for leadership. You know, laws are made not to create leaders, but for leaders to adhere to these laws. The Constitution is made to actually make sure that, you know, there's boundaries where these people who we vote for don't abuse their power that we have actually given them. So what I'm trying to say is this: if That's why I keep on going back to saying this, and anyone can challenge me on this, on this, what I'm trying to say. The problem with Kenya is that we lack law enforcement. We have very good laws that actually say Article 226, subsection 5 says any public official that have stolen money is liable to pay it off. What I'm trying to say is this. If we were to follow the laws that are in place, if somebody steals, if somebody there's an audit done and we see those people who are receiving these 2 paychecks, we should be able to ask them, why are you getting 2 paychecks? Okay? And if they are found to be committing fraud, they should be responsible for paying back that money and serving jail time, if the law says so. But the problem is that is not being followed. So to me, the issue is not whether we have 47 counties or 7 or 1 or 10 or 25. That is irrelevant. The issue to me is whether we have 7 or 47, okay? The laws that govern how we spend our money, the role of the governor, our MCAs, it's okay for, let's say, Homa Bay, for the MCAs to be from ODM and the governor is from ODM. That should not mean that the MCAs are not carrying out their job. Because if the law is being followed, the MCAs should be checking the governor, not only the MCAs, also the Senate. Okay? Who's the senator of Homa Bay? I even forgot. Okay? They should also...
Honorable Moses Kajwang.
Should also be checking what the governor is doing. So that is the whole point of having this, this arms of government, because one can check the other. So power is not concentrated on one spot. But we assume that because these people are from ODM and these other MCAs are ODM, they should be in conjunction, working together and stealing this money or whatever the case is happening. They should be no. Even if they're from one party, they should still be checking the governor. Governor, where is this money going? And the auditor general, when he comes in and does the audit, he should be able to tell us, or at least give us an idea, whether it's where this money was going. You should question these people. So to finish, so that everybody else, like saying Nania is ready, whether the ODM is the dominant party in Homa Bay, or whether the TNA is the dominant party in Kiambu or Jubilee, or UDA is in Sugoi, the law should be the one that is the driving force that actually makes the people do the right thing. And anyone that violates that, that's why I keep on saying that the problem with Kenya is not tribalism, corruption, or this political party. It is the lack of respect of the rule of law, because the law is not being enforced and is not respected from the executive branch down to the person at the bottom. That is why we have these problems. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. But now, maybe in a brief, if you're talking about that is not the issue, and you're talking about the law is not being respected, and how now do you balance off? Because the people who should respect those laws and to enforce those laws are the same people who are breaking them. How can that one work? I lost. Makobura, how are you doing? Are you back?
Oh, okay. Well, you were asking me how does that work? Can you?
Yeah, how does that work? Because like we are talking about the law enforcement, yeah, and the law enforcement, the people, they are those who have been given the mandate to bring these laws, yeah. Then there are law enforcers, yeah, and the law enforcers, this one include me, you, and any other ordinary citizen, yeah.
Yes.
And if they are not ready to enforce that law, so what is the next move that should be done?
That is why we emphasize on the independence of these institutions. The executive should be independent from the legislative. The judiciary should be totally independent from the legislative and the executive. Okay, so we don't want a situation where the president chooses his own people to become in cabinet. They should be vetted and all that stuff. Now, and those people who, even if he chooses his people, because the president gets to choose the judges, then the judges have to be vetted by the legislative branch, and then if they pass, they go to they take the Nenio. So what I'm trying to say is that once these people assumes the office, as a Supreme Court judge, justice, or whatever, High Court justice, judge, or a member of parliament or a senator, they should do their job. The DCI goes, does the investigation. Okay, let me ask you this, Brother Benson.
Yeah.
You heard when they were doing the audits, the Auditor General, when he announced about the corruption, the money that was could not be accounted for different counties, right?
Yeah.
Now, if the DCI has given the report that, okay, 50 billion was missing in Homa Bay or missing in Machakos or whatever, what is the next step?
The next step, it should be the investigative authority should take over.
Thank you. Yes. And if the matter has become a possible criminal offense, the prosecutor should take it to the court and bring the governor to come answer in the courts. And if they are they should be impeached. But why is that not happening? Why? Because the people who are supposed to get this ball rolling, okay, they've been compromised. You understand? So they're not going to respect the law because watakwambia simu ilitoka huko juu. Tulipata simu huko juu ati hii kesi iishiwe hivyo. So what I'm trying to say is this: the people who are in this position people who should swear, as they usually swear. That's why you always have an oath before you take a public office. Say that I take Nenio that I shall uphold the Constitution to the best of my ability, as Brother Benson, and fulfill it. And that oath should mean something, not taking order from your party leader because you came from ODM, you ran for Kanyamkago MP in 1965. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying the problem is the law. We are not implementing, we are not respecting, we are not enforcing. So we have this confluence of problems, and we want to misdiagnose it as corruption and tribalism. But the main issue is law enforcement and respect for the rule of law. And that's why we'll always have these problems. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, my brother. I'm seeing Douglas Kibogong. Hey, bro. How are you doing, sir? You've been ask our brother if KMDU have responded to busybodies. I'm not very sure. Busybodies of who are the busybodies? Maybe you can let us know. Share with us these busybodies so we can know. So we can know where that to respond to that. Miguda, how are you doing? I did not say hi to you.
I'm good.
Oh, Marco Buddha, what about you?
Niko salama, nashukuru.
Mi niko vyema, labda nataka kukua labda hata leo huyu ndugu wangu, unajua huyu Kenya KR ni mtu ambaye leo nataka kumuuliza swali, nataka kumpatia jambo tafsiri, na nataka tafsiri hilo jambo kulingana na hela ama hali ya siasa. Kuna watu wawili hapa, kuna tajiri na maskini. Kwa hali ya kawaida, kuna siku moja tajiri alikuwa mgonjwa, na tajiri akawa mgonjwa, maskini kila mara alikuwa anaenda pale hospitali kujulia hali tajiri. Tajiri uko vipi bana? Uko vizuri. Mpaka siku ile tajiri alitolewa hospitali akarudi nyumbani, maskini akawa amefurahi kwa sababu tajiri amerudi nyumbani. Alafu ikapita kama takriban miezi miwili hivi, maskini akawa mgonjwa, lakini tajiri hakuenda kumuona. Lakini kenye kilishangaza ni kwamba siku ile maskini alitoka hospitali, alienda kwa tajiri, akamwambia tajiri, unajua mimi nilikuwa mgonjwa, lakini saa hii mimi niko vizuri. Wewe kwako vipi? Unaweza tafsiri vipi?
Hilo ni swali langu ama swali ya Makuburi?
Swali lako tu, alafu ndio tuendelee.
Mi naiona hivi, huyu kuna tajiri na yule nani maskini. Maskini alikuwa anamwabudu anaitwaje? Tajiri. Lakini tajiri alikuwa hamwabudu huyo maskini. So vile huyo tajiri alikuwa mgonjwa, huyo maskini anaenda akamtembelea, aka make sure ako poa, akarudi lakini vile huyu maskini alikuwa mgonjwa, huyu tajiri hakumshughulikia. So mimi naweza kuitafsiri hivi, tajiri hajali maslahi ya huyu maskini. Lakini maskini yeye anamwamini huyu tajiri atajali maslahi yake. Lakini hiyo ni makosa. Sasa mimi nasema hivi, huyo maskini akigundua hivi, basi ni wajibu wake ajisimamie yeye kama binadamu. Aseme hivi, kama huyu jamaa hatajali maslahi yangu, mimi basi nitajali maslahi yangu binafsi, na nitajali maslahi ya maskini wenzangu. Nijisimamie, niseme hivi, maskini yoyote ambaye atapelekwa hospitalini, mimi nitaenda nimtumikie na nihakikishe kuwa ako hali bora, na nitamjalia. Ama vipi?
Uko sahihi, lakini tukiangalia katika, wacha tu tuangalie kabla Migodi hajakuja, tuangalie kwa mazingira ambayo sisi tupo hapa kisiasa zetu, kwa sababu unapata kwamba tuko na viongozi na tuko na wale ambao wanapiga kura, na tunaweza sema kwamba labda kiongozi akiwa mgonjwa, utapata kwamba mpiga kura labda anaweza enda akamuone, unaona, amwambie bana. Lakini unapata hapa huyu sasa, huyu maskini ambao ni mpiga kura, labda yuko mgonjwa na ashatoka hospitalini, lakini yeye ndiye anajitoa, anaenda kuambia tajiri, unajua mimi nilikuwa niko mgonjwa. Ukitafsiri kwa hali ya siasa zetu ama hali ya uongozi wetu, ambapo unapata kwamba ukichukua mwanasiasa ambaye labda Mungu amemjalia akawa na fedha vingi ama akawa na mali, na huyu mpiga kura, unaweza linganisha vipi wewe?
Mimi nasema hivi, tukiangalia siasa yetu ya Kenya, tumefika pahali sisi kama watu ambao tunaishi maisha fukara, tuko fukara, yani sisi maskini, tukiangalia hawa wanasiasa ambao ni matajiri, hawajatufanyia kitu chochote, hawajali maslahi yetu. So sisi kama maskini, tumia hiyo yako, hiyo analogy yako. Sisi kama maskini tunafaa tujiunge pamoja, tuseme kuwa hatuwezi kutegemea hawa matajiri watutumikie, wajali maslahi yetu. So sisi kama maskini tuungane pamoja, tuseme hivi, hatutaangalia hawa matajiri, hawa wanasiasa watutumikie. Tuchukue hiyo mamlaka ambayo tuliwapatia kwa njia ya kuwapigia kura. Turudi kwa nini hiyo katiba yasema hivi, article 1 yasema hivi, sisi kama wengi wetu ambao sisi ni maskini, sisi ndio tuko na mamlaka. So tuseme hiyo mamlaka tuichukua sisi, na tutafukuza kazi. Tutasema haya, nyinyi sasa kazi yenu imeisha, maana nyinyi hamtujalii. Sasa sisi kama wananchi, kwa hiyo demokrasia ni nini semaje, the rule by majority. Sisi maskini ndio majority. Sasa tuchukue hiyo mamlaka na tuseme kuwa tutachagua watu wapya wachukulie hiyo IBC, wasimamie IBC, wasimamie ubunge, wasimamie urais, executive branch. Alafu tuanze mpya according to 2010 constitution. Sasa tuwezi kuweka tumaini yetu kwa hao matajiri. Kama ni kujibu. Nimejaribu sana kujua Kiswahili pia ni shida, lakini
kaka umejaribu, na kwa hayo itafanya tufanye juhudi tukupeleke kwa shule yetu. Unajua huyu ndugu yangu Makobura, miezi karibu takriban miaka 1 iliyopita tuliamua arudi shule, na amebobea saizi. Haya ni miongoni ya wale ambao saizi tunasherekea na tunasema kwamba wamejitahidi katika kuongea lugha ya Kiswahili, na we pia naona uko vizuri. Haya, ndugu yangu Miguda, habari gani?
Niko salama kakangu, hali yako vipi?
Kwema. Unajua, kwa sisi ambao sisi tuko hapa tunaweza kusema kwamba wewe ndio kitinda mimba kwetu hapa. Sisi karibu tumekula chumvi, na kwa masomo yako pia ni kwamba we ni miongoni wa wale ambao walitoka shule juzi. Inamaanisha kuwa kiakili bado uko vizuri. Hebu wewe tuambie tafsiri yako ni gani, na nataka ukitafsiri pia ulinganishe na uongozi ambao sisi tuko nayo, na ututofautishie sana sana ukiangalia uongozi na watu ambao wanapiga kura. Ukichukua tuseme kwamba maskini inakuwa ni mwanasiasa ambaye Mungu amemjalia ako na mali yake, na mpiga kura pia ni yule mtu ambaye labda anakuwa amejaliwa lakini amepatiwa ile nguvu ya kupiga kura na kuamua ni nani endaye atakuwa anamweka kwa uongozini.
Asante sana kangangu. Kwanza ningependa kukupatia mfano ya hiyo kisiasa, lakini pia ukiniruhusu nitakupatia mfano yangu. Kuna pia mimi nilikuwa na kitu kama unapata sisi kama wapiga kura, ama niseme wapiga kura kwa jumla, idadi yao wengi wanakuwa maskini. Sasa unapata wakati wanapochagua kiongozi wao, wako na hope ya kwamba huyu kiongozi ni suluhisho kwa matatizo zao zote. Kwa mfano, kiongozi amekuja alafu yeye ndiye anaweza kufanya upeleka watoto wako shule. Vile vile kiongozi pia, kuna wengine wanajengea wamama nyumba, kuna wengine pia wanapatia watu hongo. Sasa unasema huyu kiongozi wangu yeye ndio suluhisho za matatizo zangu zote. Sasa unapata ni kama wanamwabudu kiongozi. Sasa unapata kwa mfano, kama kiongozi amekuwa mgonjwa, ama kwa mfano kiongozi ameshikwa ako katika amepita mahakama then katika jela, wakati anapoachiliwa huru huwa anakuja katika eneo bunge, lakini watu wanaenda kumpokea, watu wanaombea ati ulishikwa, pole sana. Sasa wanamwomboleza vile vile hata wakati anapokuwa mgonjwa, lakini unapata idadi kubwa wanamheshimu, hiyo jina ya mheshimiwa. Sasa ni kama au maskini wanamwabudu kiongozi na ni binadamu. Sasa unapata pia kiongozi juu unapata pengine eneo bunge watu wako wengi na watu kuwa huenda wagonjwa wengi, na vile vile watu pia huenda kuwa na matatizo tofauti tofauti. Sasa huwezi pata nafasi ya kutembelea kila mtu, na unajua kuna kitu moja hapa lazima nieleze hapa, ingawa siwezi jua vile kila mtu. Unajua mambo na umaskini, mambo na ukwasi ni relative kwa tena lugha ya Kimombo. Pengine mimi nimeona kitu moja, wale wenzetu ambao ni maskini katika jamii wako na shida moja. Wakifanya jambo fulani, kwa mfano kama wewe ni mgonjwa alafu wamekutembelea, ama kama umekamatwa mahakamani alafu ukatolewa alafu wakuja kukutembelea, wao pia wana expect wakati wako na shida yote lazima kuone, ambao wasipokuona wanasema wewe ni muasi, wewe si mmoja wao. Sasa wako na shida moja, lakini mtu kama mimi, kwa mfano mimi hata kama nikufanya jambo fulani, jambo nzuri, usiponifanyia wewe, hiyo shauri yako. Pengine watu wako tofauti, lakini unapata wale maskini wako na tabia moja ya kwamba hata kama kwa mfano ulikuwa unajenga boma na alikutembelea, siku anajenga boma, hata kama uko katika nchi za kigeni, anataka ukuje mpaka umsaidie kujenga boma. Sasa mimi nimekuwa na shida nyingi. Unapata kuna watu wanasema ati wewe, kama tulikuwa tunasoma na wewe kitambo, tulikuwa tunaketi na wewe, nilikuwa nakubebea bag nilikuwa nafanya kitu. Siku hizi ukiona mimi hata hakuna hata kafinje ya mtaa. Sasa vitu kama hivi. Sasa hiyo ni shida moja ya kwamba katika jamii wale wenzetu ambao tunasema wale maskini, unapata wao wako na imani sana ya kwamba hao wanasiasa ama hao viongozi wao hawa ndio Mungu wao, hawa ndio suluhisho wa matatizo zao. Sasa wakati wote wako na shida, hata kabla waombe hata Mwenyezi Mungu, hata kabla waulize marafiki zao ama wale familia zao, wanakimbilia viongozi. Sema mimi tu yule kiongozi. Hiyo ni jambo la kwanza. La pili, acha nikwambie, maana nilikuwa nakwambia mambo na umaskini ni relative ya Kimombo. Hapa tuseme hii mwezi wa 8 hapo mwanzo, hapo nilikuwa mgonjwa, na hata nafikiria ulikuwa unajua mambo, wewe ulikuwa unajua mambo yangu ya ugonjwa, Makubwa alikuwa na Sokona alikuwa najua nilikuwa mgonjwa hapo hii mwanzo wa hii mwezi. Sasa wakati huo bado sikuwa nimepata nguvu, nilikuwa nimelala hapo katika kejani peke yangu, lakini kuna yule rafiki yangu moja na yeye pia ni kiongozi na sitataja jina yake hapa, lakini najua kama ananisikiza ama ananiona leo hii atajua jambo kibaya. Alinipigia simu, imekuwa muda alo mambo, akasema niko poa. Akasema nataka kutembelea rafiki yangu mwingine, uko wapi? Nikasema ni kwa nyumba, mimi ni mgonjwa bado na meza madawa zangu sijapata nafuu. Akaniambia oga utokeleze unisindikize. Lazima pia uende, pengine anataka kitu kadogo. Sasa kwenda kwake akanigia yake, nikampata hiyo bibi yake, walikuwa tu hivyo. Sasa na mimi sasa hapo napata hapo mimi ndio maskini, wao ni tajiri. Sasa nipata yeye na bibi yake gari yake. Sasa tukaenda paka huko, tukaomboleza watu. Alafu akaniambia wewe ulikuwa mgonjwa, kwani unalala kama wewe ni mgonjwa? Nikamwambia mimi nilikuwa mgonjwa. Anasema pana, wewe ni mwanaume haufai kulala, unafaa kutembea tembea ili usikue kama mwanamke. Sasa wakati tulimalizana yeye alipatia 150 mpaka nikapiga hiyo picha niko nayo hapa, siku moja nitakuonyesha. Nikapatia 150 na nikasema okay, nikasema ni sawa, na ni kiongozi ni mbunge, akanipatia 150. Sasa hivi karibuni baada ya wiki 2 yeye pia akakuwa mgonjwa. Na vile alikuwa mgonjwa yeye akalazwa katika hospitali. Mimi sikulazwa, alilazwa katika hospitali. Sasa vile alilazwa hivi, baada ya siku 3 nikapata ujumbe ni mgonjwa. Nikampigia simu akapokea. Nikamuuliza uko wapi? Akaniambia ati amelazwa katika hospitali ya Aga Khan, niende nimuone. Nikakumbuka wakati mimi nilikuwa mgonjwa aliniambia ati wewe ni mwanamke, wewe si mwanaume. Lakini wakati yeye ni mgonjwa anataka niende nimtembelee, tena ananiambia hapa ni karibu, wewe fika unitembelee. Sasa pia mimi kama maskini jeuri nikakuwa maskini jeuri vile kama maskini jeuri namwambia wewe vile wewe ulipatia 150, hiyo ni makosa. Ulinipatia mimi ni mwanamke, leo hii pia mwanaume amelazwa. Nikamwambia basi sasa wewe mwanaume wewe lala tu hapo pole pole na vile pia mimi sikuji kukuona. Na kuanzia hapo pia mimi nikasema marafiki zangu wale niseme think tank. Hiyo jambo kaniambia tu jamaa achana na yeye. Na sasa nakwambia sasa leo hii nimeachana na huyo mdosi. Sasa nibaki maskini jeuri. Sasa mimi kumwabudu. Sasa jambo muhimu tunaweza chukua kwa hayo yote ni ya kwamba kama ni kiongozi ama tajiri mdosi au jukumu lolote ya kumwabudu ili akusaidie. Yeye ni binadamu kama wewe.
Mi nimekusikia, lakini ukiongea sana, kama tuseme kwamba ukisema kauli ambayo labda umesema ya wacha kulia kama mwanaume. Unajua kauli kama haya yalikuwa yanatumika nyakati za kitambo sana. Ukiangalia mila na desturi zetu, hata wakati tunakuwa tukiwa wadogo, unapata kwamba kama wewe ni mtoto mvulana, unapata kwamba ukilia wazi wazi mbele ya umati utakuwa unasema we bana, we mbona unalia kama mwanamke? Na hii jambo labda kilikuwa kinatokea kwa sababu unapata kwamba hisia ya mwanamke ni hisia ambayo iko karibu sana, na ni watu ambao hawana aibu kuonyesha yale ambayo inawakera sana sana kwa umati, watalia. Lakini mwanaume, kwa sababu inakani labda wewe ndio ulikuwa ni kana nguzo ya jamii ama nguzo ya familia, ukionekana kwamba unalia mbele ya umati, kimila ama tuseme kwamba kiutamaduni ilikuwa naona huyu mtu si hajafikisha ile umri ya kusema kwamba unaweza stahimili unaona yale ambao yanakutokea. Ndio maana kuna wakati nilikuwa nazungumza na mtu akaniambia kwamba wanaume mara mingi wanalia usiku, wakati ambapo wanalia ambao waka katika chumba yao pale yako peke yake, hapo ndio sasa amepata nafasi ya kulia. Unapata hivyo, ndio kesho baadaye wewe ukiamka ukikuja utakuwa wewe ukitoka nje utakuwa mwanamume ambaye amekamilika, ambaye anastahili changamoto na yale yote ambayo inamkuta. Wacha nikuje kwa ndugu yangu ndio sasa tuingie kwa mada. Mr. Makobura, wewe ni kwako vipi? Tafsiri yako ni gani? Ama bado? Okay, sawa sawa. So, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And Gibson Connor said that telling a man to man up and not to cry is not great because it causes mental health. Yeah, surely that is true. But you know, that's how sometimes back in the village we were told to grow up. You have to grow up. You don't have to cry in public, you know. Yeah, and if you don't cry, like you kind of like you show the world how tough emotionally you are, on how you can maintain that composure, you know, during tough times as a man, you know. And that's, I think that is what meant. Now, Kenya Rebel, I hope you've discussed this, but there's something here that also we need to discuss, and I want to know your opinion in depth, especially when yesterday a group of leaders and residents of Kiambu, amounting to around between 5,000 to 6,000, visited the State House. And if you are very keen, one of the discussion that took place was about the issue of Mount Kenya. And the issue was that Mount Kenya should be separated, or there was that idea that Mount Kenya is not part of, Kiambu is not part of the larger Mount Kenya. And this is the second time this was happening. The other day, I saw a member of parliament was alluding to that. And yesterday, it happened in the presence of the president, and they said that this region should not be on that. And even the deputy president, just imagine, was alluding to that, and he was very okay with that. And even the president himself. So when you look at that, Miguda, what is the difference now between what they're advocating for, or maybe what Rigathi Gachagua has been saying? Is there a difference? Or it depends on who says it? Hello, Mr. Miguda. Okay. I think I've lost everyone. Makubura too is not, but this is something that we should look at it. And I was saying that instead of, I thought and I believed that one thing that they could have done, honorable thing, because like they're meeting the president and they came to especially to lay down some of the things, or some of the development proposals that they need to be done in Kiambu. But what took the top of the list was the isolation of Kiambu from Mount Kenya, or the exit of Kiambu from the rest of Mount Kenya. And if you check well, Moses Kuria weighed his thought. I will read for you about that. Another thing that also I saw there's so many members of parliament that were missing, including the good governor of Kiambu, Wamatangi. Wamatangi was not there. And when such like decisions are being reached, who should reach this decision? Is it a selected few, or is it something that should be brought in board, especially the entire Kiambu people to decide on, again, is it time that we should now separate ourselves? And should we separate it politically, or it should be separated by law? And what does this one inform in terms of politics? Politics, yes. Let me see. Miguda, how are you doing? Miguda came to the studio. Hello, Miguda.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was attending some emergency hapa kidogo, lakini niko back sasa full.
Yeah. What is your take on what happened in Kiambu, in State House, especially with the Kiambu leaders coming from there?
Yeah, so Miguda had given his take on that. So maybe if I can give my take. I think this is just political. It is pure political. And since Kimani Ichung'Wa is coming from the Kiambu region, and he has realized that the politics of Mount Kenya currently do not really, the people of Mount Kenya do not really support the president. And for that reason, he's trying to reason that, oh, maybe the people in Kiambu, it's a mixture, it's a cosmopolitan place, and there's a mixture of people. So let us not generalize that, for example, these are also maybe people from the Mount Kenya region. So he's trying to buy on that narrative so that he can convince the group of people within Kiambu who does not really subscribe to what the Mount Kenya, for example, people think, so that they
Yeah.
can come out and maybe support the government. But
Okay.
again, partly they're also coming up with that because the issue of you know Kiambu has the highest number of you know people who do voters,
Yeah.
and they want to bank on that. They want to bank on it because they're thinking that with Kiambu having the majority of voters, if they try to convince the people within that community, or I
Yeah.
mean within that county, let me call it so, then
Yeah.
there is a possibility of them, Kiambu is such a huge county that if you can manage to get just half of it, or if you can be able to divide the Kiambu voters, then
Hmm.
you know if they are not if they decide, for example, to go to the opposition side, there's a possibility that William Ruto I mean, retain his seat if they
Okay.
come up with with a narrative of dividing the votes within that region.
Makobura, I will ask you a question. Before I ask you a question and before bringing Miguda in, this is what Moses Kuria posted on his X account. And Moses Kuria used to be advisor to the president, and he's a resident of Kiambu, especially Gatundu. So this is what he said. During Jomo Kenyatta rule, Kiambu suffered the ignominy of cabal, infamously referred to as, I quote Moses Kuria, known as Kiambu Mafia. Now there is a new Kiambu Mafia in diapers laced with poo-poo, which is claiming the Kiambu will not be in Mount Kenya region. Let me state categorically that Kiambu will always be part of Mount Kenya and not an isolated Mount Kenya, but one that will be proud part and parcel of our wonderful nation, Kenya. For avoidance of doubt that Mount Kenya will pit all their 6 million votes in one basket in 2027. They will do so unconditionally without demanding to be given a presidency, the running mate, or nor prime minister secretary. It is now clear some of these positions have the same value as recycled toilet papers. So let's relax and chew popcorn for another 92 weeks. This is something that Moses Kuria is raising. And Moses Kuria is raising something that is very valid because when I listen to one of the of members of parliament, I don't know, I saw that he was talking about the reason why the Kiambu should be isolated. He was talking about the number of votes that we have, because we have more votes than if you combine Nyeri, Moranga, and all that. That's the reason why. But remember, when you're talking about the entire region, you're talking about the entire region. There's nothing that separates these people apart from boundaries that have been put constitutionally, you know. But these people, the boundary, because like they've been given the boundary to be a county, yeah. And if you look at those counties, they share. There are so many things that they share. So there's no way, there's no way in which you want to say what Moses Kuria, he must know something we don't know. True, I tell you, that's why I tell you, because remember, even Moses Kuria, this is somebody that has always been fighting with the president, and the president was hosting, especially the people from Kiambu in in State House, and remember how he referred them. Yeah, how did he refer them? So it means, one, insignificant. What happened in State House, especially what was being pushed, is something that cannot change the narrative. It will not change the voting pattern from what. That's how I analyze it. But when you look at it, and it tells you how politics is, and I think that at that point, both the president and the deputy president had an opportunity to say, no, we are not going this way, so what we want to do is this and this. But that opportunity, they did not utilize it. And the question now, I was asking Miguda, maybe Makobura, you'll come later. So what makes it quite much different? Because like, you are saying that these are not part of Mount Kenya. The mountain they see, they said they see that, what was it? What did Kimani Ichung'Wa say? I forget about the name of the mountain. Um, What did he say? Okay, I forgot about the mountain.
The
Miguda,
Mount,
yeah,
about the Mount Kenya region.
yeah. There's a say that only the mountain we see. He said that Ngong Hills and what? He says
Yeah,
Ngong
that
Hills.
they see the Kilimambogo Hill and the Ngong Hill.
Yes, that's what the narrative he was pushing. So Miguda, when you look at this, what really separates this from what even Rigathi Gachagua has been saying about the Mount Kenya? Okay, I think we have a problem with Miguda's network. Okay, we have a problem with Miguda. Add one vote.
I think I gave, sorry,
Okay, Miguda
and
here.
Ngong Hills. It's
Mhm,
clear that those are, if you're within the Nairobi vicinity, you're
mhm,
capable of accessing Kilimambogo.
okay, but do you think politically it is influential? Okay, I think we have a problem with Miguda Makobura. We have a problem with Miguda. I don't know what is happening with his internet. It keeps on breaking. I just wanted to Miguda Makobura. When you look at in terms of politically speaking, because to me this is how I view it. In terms of political, it's about divide and rule. And one of the things that they are trying to do, or politically they are trying to do, is to find a way of how to manage the influence of what is happening in Mount Kenya, especially concerning about the trust between now the president, even himself, you know. So what he says to say that, okay, now what is going to happen? Um, we are going to have we are going to have Kiambu of our own now, and this Kiambu is not going to be controlled by influence maybe of Rigathi Gachagua or any other political, because it's about politics for 2027. There's nothing big that we would say about it.
This is a political strategy, just like what I'd said before. What
Yeah.
is happening here is that there's danger in the Mount Kenya region.
Mm-hmm.
It is danger that is affecting the political ambitions of the president retaining his seat.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, remember Kimani Ichung'Wa is part and parcel of the people coming from the Mount Kenya region. So he knows and he understands the thinking of the people of that region.
Yeah.
And with him coming up with this narrative, it is a narrative that they've thought about and they've looked into it and they think that it is the only thing that can save them at this particular time.
Mm-hmm.
My worry is that the only worry I have is whether it's going to work or not. But it is a
Mm-hmm.
calculated move. It is a move. I did mention here that Kiambu has a huge number of voters,
Yeah.
and Kiambu controls. I can say that Kiambu controls the Mount Kenya regions. I mean, the votes in the Mount Kenya region.
Yeah.
Whichever direction the Kiambu voters take, that is the direction that, that is the outcome that people would come out and say that, well, this
Mm-hmm.
is what we've gotten from the from the Mount Kenya region. So it is just a political strategy that they're coming up with, knowing very well that, of course, majority of people who stay there are Kikuyu. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing I understand with Kikuyu is that they will always vote together as a bucket. They will always vote in one bucket. So the narrative that is coming here is that let the people of Kiambu decide or make their own decisions. Let them not be influenced by someone who is not coming from Kiambu. In short, the issue of kingpinship is coming here, and they're trying to introduce kingpinship for every, let me say, for every subsection. And in this case, they want to come up with a kingpin, so to say, for Kiambu, and say that Gachagua is a kingpin of maybe Nyeri. That is the narrative that is being driven here. And of course, politically, it depends on how it is going to be played. If it is played if it is played in a clever way, then quite a number of voters will buy into it. And but those who see into it, they will know that this is a way of bringing conflict among the people of the Mount Kenya region. It is a way of dividing them more and bringing up the interclanism within that community, because they're thinking then outside there will be sisi watu wa Kiambu, sisi hatutambui hiyo, sisi watu wa Nyeri, sisi tunatambua hii. And that is one thing that I don't think the people of Mount Kenya will buy into, because we've always seen them stay together, speak together, stand together, and they've always as well reasoned together. That is my take. You're muted.
Thank you so much. And now let me ask Miguda, because ever since President William Ruto actually disagreed with Rigathi Gachagua on on their political deal, especially the Kenya Kwanza, where Rigathi Gachagua was the deputy president, ended up being impeached. There are quite much strategies that president has put in place, especially to make sure that he bridges that gap between him and Mount Kenya, which some of it, to me, I feel like has never been so much impactful. Remember, there was a time that people like Mutai Kagwe were brought on board, including Kabogo, Lee Kinyanjui, all that, but the impact was very minimal. Was not seen. Then we had remember when Maina Njenga also came on board, especially. There was that meeting that was held by Pastor Dorcas Mama Boys, and he stormed into that meeting and took over. Yeah, we've seen quite so much activities taking place, including giving deputy president to Kithure Kindiki, especially from the east, to make sure that the Easterners might vote in one block, but that thing has not materialized. So, do you think by kind of like bringing these issues and saying that Kiambu should be detached from Mount Kenya, this is going to be very impactful in terms of politics of 2027, Mr. Miguda?
I don't think they're gonna be impactful because I now realize that Gachagua really studied William Ruto.
Yeah.
And Gachagua understanding better than any other person, because Gachagua had already prophesied that William Ruto is going to sponsor many political parties in Mount Kenya, and actually it's now coming to pass. But remember, initially, when Gachagua was the deputy president, Ruto brought the issue of Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya, whereby he was trying to divide it, that this Mount Kenya East is Mount Kenya. And after Gachagua has been impeached, he has gone back and reunite the entire mountain. So the issue of Kindiki coming from east has now been punctured. So it has been slowed down, whereby they are not talking about the people of Mount Kenya. And remember when Gachagua said that sisi chama yetu ni DCP, any other political party has been sponsored by William Ruto. So you're either in DCP or you are going to be. And look at the rising of Moses Kuria in the Kiambu region. Look at what now Kimani Ichung'Wa is doing and in the Kiambu. So it means like they're saying we detach Kiambu. So I think after realizing that the Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya has failed, number one. Number two was so to use Maina Njega. Actually, in the previous demonstration, whereby things were looted and the government, the police officers were involved, whereby they allowed people to loot things and also burning of the police station. You heard they were saying it is Maina Njenga who choreographed with the team. So Gachagua said that our properties are being looted by certain person who has been protected by the government, and also cases has been cleared. So after realizing that the Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya has failed, the Maina Njenga factor has been exposed. Now you must also look for another move. So I can conclude by saying Gachagua really studied William Ruto, and William Ruto indeed is a cunning politician, and is a politician with a lot of moves. So the fact that you are denying him, the Mount Kenya is the factor. You're
Mhm.
gonna use Maina Njenga. If you're denying Maina Njenga, you're gonna use the issue of region. Now this Kiambu region. Then we'll have next time Kirinyaga region. Next time Nyandarua region. Next time Laikipia region. So it is gonna be a difficult war in Mount Kenya, whereby you want to use all necessary routes to ensure that it divide Mount Kenya. You know, its main intention is to divide Mount Kenya. Once it divides Mount Kenya, you're gonna get a second term. But I'm seeing a scenario whereby Mount Kenya is not going to be divided, because Mount Kenya have their victims, and the gospel being spread there,
Mhm.
they are going to stick to their candidates.
Mhm.
So that I can just say it's a political move, whereby not that we are saying it's an offense. It is not an offense to make any move. As
Yeah.
politician, you need to
Mhm.
make moves. The same way Rigathi Gachagua so making moves in
Yeah.
Western region. So it is not an offense for William Ruto to make moves. So it's
Mhm.
up to you to ensure that you guard your region, or it's up to you to ensure that you make your people to be united. But
To
if
make
you allow him to penetrate and divide the people, that is none of his business. Because as for you, is to
Mhm.
ensure that you remain united in the forthcoming election. But for William Ruto, is
Mhm.
to ensure that he divide Mount Kenya for his second term.
Okay, thank you so much. Because like you look at it, and it is survival for the fittest, and is encountering any strategy that you put in place. Because like I would agree with the president, and the president would want anything that any opportunity that comes that would want to give him a second chance, to go for his second term. He will use it, and the people who are going to feel it the most are the people like Kimani Ichung'Wa. How are you even going to convince the people who are very close to you? Now you're telling us that you're not part of us. That is how will you convince them? Yeah, if they ask you, okay, what might have necessitated you to say that this part is not part of Mount Kenya? What would have? Because those are tough questions that at some point you will meet them. Yeah, because even if you look at the comments and say that, okay, when did we, especially as people of Kiambu, consulted to know that, okay, we are not part? Since when? So as you said earlier, it is politics. And there's also something quite much interesting. Let's put the Kiambu aside. There's something that I saw on the debate, especially when it comes to the nomination, especially of ODM, where the late Ongondo Were was. And I saw two people talking about one thing, that, okay, and they were really, really very cautious. They were cautioning what? Uh, Honorable Aroko, the good life. Honorable Aroko is a good life. He's vibing. Aroko is vibing. Have you seen his photos? Aroko, the good life.
Aroko Gen Z.
Hey, Aroko is vibing in Kabondo Kasipul. That's the same. But people are telling Aroko, why waste your time? You know very well that you are not a preferred candidate, and you're still going on with nomination. And they say that I don't know, one of the candidates have decided to go with the independent Demabio. I don't know. I was getting something like that, and they're telling him, why should you go somewhere you know very well that you are not the preferred candidate? There's a preferred candidate. Why would you just come with your independent candidate, look for votes or hunt for votes? If you're lucky enough, get it, rather than creating chaos in the party. Do you agree with those people who are saying that?
Actually, I agree, but you understand also,
Mhm.
Aroko has been a member of ODM, even when Ongondo Were.
That is not preferred.
Yeah, he's not preferred, yes. So I don't know how some things happen. I also had someone advising Aroko that good life.
Yeah.
You know very well that Wanga is against you, and Wanga is the chairperson of the party, and they are going to give Boyd Were. Why wasting your time for a nomination?
Yeah. We lost because from all the indication, what we are seeing, and even what we know from the grounds, that the ticket is going to go for Boydwere, from all the indication, whether you like it or not. Because look at even the office itself. Is the office? You know very well that your political, especially your political political relationship between you and the chair of the party is not is not welcoming. You have those political differences, and you still insist. What do you expect? People now are advising Aroko Goodlife, hey, Mr. Rocco, this is the time, chart your own path. But who is Aroko? Aroko also insists ODM is my party, I've been a member. How is that one going to happen, Mr. Makobura? What should Aroko Goodlife do?
Me, even me, if I was a rocker,
Yeah.
I would not lose hope, because if he's a member of that party, he has a right to fight till the last minute.
Oh,
And
okay.
sometimes it is good to fight till the last minute. If you fight till
Mhm.
the last minute,
Mhm.
that is when you will get the full opportunity to get to understand that wherever you are, it is not a good place. So as much as this member of aspirant knows very
Yeah.
well the kind of people he's dealing with, he
Mhm.
also, he has something in his mind that, what, I'm a member of this party. And if you've been following his conversation, how he speaks, he's
Yeah.
someone who, I've seen him, I've heard him saying that I'm a member of this party. I'm going to fight with it, and I'm not going
Yeah.
anywhere. I'm a member here. Let us meet them. If
And
they
and,
come,
and
I've heard him say that. And to me, I think I like that. I like that character. I'm
mhm.
a person who will fight. I fight. If I know something is not good, people are saying it is not good, I want to see it with my eyes. And that is how, you know to me, is moving well. Let him
Mhm.
get there and get to taste what really ODM is all about. It might not be,
Actually,
wanaweza hata mwogopa, you never know. So you have to fight till the last
no,
minute. That
una,
is,
una, una,
to me, I
unajua.
like how he does that. I like the kind of faith he has in doing
Mm.
it.
Yeah, naona
But
watu
again,
wengi.
this is
Mm.
politics.
Yeah.
In politics, again, some people would not really want to win
Mm.
that particular race in the first round,
Mm.
but it's also a way of building your name. And
Mhm.
also, we've been in politics. There's some sympathy part that is also needed here. When you're seeing that you've done everything and then you're not
Mm.
given, automatically
Mm.
one day it will work out for him. He will get some
Uh,
sympathy from the people saying that, you know what, this guy never
mm.
worked. He was
Mm.
given this thing directly,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
they denied me. We have people who have survived in
Yeah.
politics out of sympathy of them
Mm.
not being given the opportunity, just like others were given the opportunity.
Mm.
And
Okay.
again, so long as someone, again, we've seen in Kenya, so long as they have consistent money that they can always come back with, one
Mhm.
day they will convince the people and they'll be given the opportunity.
Or maybe Aroko is focusing, if is focusing on 2020 2027, so that he would prove, because like sometimes also it's very difficult knowing very well that you are dealing with a base that is ODM, so you want not to run away from that base. So come 2027 he can go through uh, 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 so that people will not question his loyalty to the party. They say the other time you fought, but this time we give it to you. But also,
An example, look at
yeah.
what happened to Senator Eddie Okechmok. Remember, the first time he vied, he was in ODM, and then he
Mhm.
came back again with the party that was being sponsored by William Samoei Ruto. And then
No, he
after
did not
that,
come with
and
the
then he
party.
came
No,
back
no, no,
to
no,
ODM.
no. He did not come with the party. Eddie
When
vied
he was being
independently.
supported,
No, he was
when he
an
was being
independent candidate.
supported, I mean, no, was oh well. But remember, the first time he came with ODM, he was denied the
Yeah.
opportunity, came with independent, and then now the third time now akapata the sympathy of the people.
Ac-
So that
ac-
is how politicians
ac-
play politics.
Actually, the politics say that Eddie Okech was supposed, when he came back, actually, because Eddie Okech came when Ben Olochokelo, of senator, died. Yeah. So, and remember, Uchila Yako then was an independent candidate, and that's why it tells you how laws does not apply. How long does it take you to be a member of a political party to vie? Then Ochila Yako, being an independent who fought with Obado in the governorship, And immediately when he was proposed to run for ODM Senate through ODM ticket, remember he vied as an independent candidate, and Eddie, who was number 2 in the Senate after Ben Oluoch Okello, ended up being an independent candidate. And Eddie performed well when he was an independent candidate. Yeah, and actually the resources that was mobilized to campaign against Eddie was the heavyweights, the likes of James Orengo, Governor Joho, all the governors actually were in pitch tent in Migori during that by-election. And, they Eddie lost with a small number of votes, so it tells you how Eddie was. But now, let's also come to the all the by-election that is going to take place, and we want also to focus on especially the ones where Ruku was coming from. And we've seen Mkunji. Actually, the other day Mkunji campaigned, and during his campaign, Rigathi called and told them what they want to do. If you look at how things are, do you see President penetrating the DCP, not winning there? And you also have to put a factor in of Muturi. That is a place for Muturi, and actually Ruku was a candidate for Muturi. Remember when he was running for that seat?
Yeah. So one thing I can say is that DCP has gained ground in the Mount Kenya region. That is one fact that we have to agree. And we've seen them moving around. We've seen them.
Makoburo, what's happening? Hey, Papa Fololo. Papa Kolokolo. Hey, ndugu yangu. Batoto bawapi?
Bakongolita. Batoto ba Mungu. Batoto jeli. Batoto jeli. Jeli.
Wewe wachana nayo bana.
How are you, brother Ben? Nakuona siku hizi nakumbuka Ben McCarthy. Ben. So Benny McCarthy, Ben.
Unajua hii nini ya Kongo saa zingine inanifurahisha. Sijui venye sasa saa zingine unaongea. Kweli. Sasa umeshinda aje kakangu?
Niko vile.
Uko vizuri.
Nasikia tu Papa Wemba na
one thing that we should not, sometimes I usually say there are things that we should always appreciate and we cannot take away from, especially Congo. There's something that Congo has that so many African countries do not have, apart from the minerals they have. But there's this kind of genre that they do have that nobody will always take away from them. And they are so much perfected in it. Like even a young kid would sing. Sometimes I do go and watch the young kids just singing on, like they're just playing around. But the vocals, the voice, the energy they put, and you tell, oh, this is so much blessing to this country, that you find that despite all those blessings that they have, look at what is happening.
Yeah, it's not good, but in their music, my friend, these guys, they have vigor and they have energy. You see that song for Fimbo. Fimbo, you hear that song for Fimbo. These guys, they have a lot of energy.
No, let me tell you, I don't know whether you've listened to somebody called Simaro Lutumba.
Yeah.
These are people who are mentored by Franco Luambo, then come even to from Simbalo Lutumba. You have also Madilu system. There's so many.
Madilu system.
Yeah, these are people. Then come to people like Alus Mabele. come to Yondo Sister. When you look at this, and like they control the airwaves, I tell you.
Yeah, they made our 80s, my friend, and 70s. They made that lifestyle. That time we were listening to African music. Live right now, we have the group called Gen Z. Hawajui hata mziki za kitambo bwana. When you go to, one thing I always respect. Have you ever gone to Rumba night? In Rumba night, I've ever gone to Rumba night and it's very calm. Unakula tu, you relax there, you hear cool music, you take your drink softly there bila mambo mingi, but I think it's also very good that upatani na vijana akina Miguda bwana, unasikia muziki zao bwana, akina Mark hapa, si tunasikia ile muziki yao imetulia bwana. Mimi unajua kwa club siwezi enda kusikia hiyo muziki ya kelele bwana, maskini itapotea.
Hebu mwambie hata kusikiza Bilia Bell. Bilia Bell never grows old, and her voice. And actually, they compare Bilia Bell to Cindy, the one that is singing with Koffi Olomide. That lady, her voice, and like she's on another level. And there's so many of those. There's also Tessie. I don't know whether you know Tessie. Also sings very nicely.
Their music always had some signature in them. The signature in them can never. Rumba and Lingala music is the same as the way we hear about these old classics. You hear all these old classics. The signature there will never end. How you feel for the old classics, Akina Michael Bolton, the Dolly Parton. This music had signature. Siku hizi nasikia kina Mark ni kelele tu, sijui kudonyo, I don't know kudunda, I don't know to do what. No signature,
yeah. Talk of this lady called Tesfaye. Listen to song like Alan Kuku. There was Solomon. There is Alain McQueen. Alain Kuku. Yeah, they call him so.
Yeah, Alain. I remember Alain.
Yeah. And Alain Kuku, there's also Samala Mapangala. Ooh,
Samala Mapangala. I don't know if Makobura knows that bwana. Makobura nasikia kama tumekuwa fossils. Samala Mapangala. Yeah, my friend. I hope you can listen to some of the music. There was a time kwanza walikuwa naenda in showgrounds before they put on this. Remember this the one they had some music festivals there. Yeah. Kuna ingine walikuwa naeka hapo bwana, ile ya Eli Coco.
Then came these people, they calling it extra musica. I tell you,
it was nice.
Then there's also Wenge Musica. Now, Makobura, did you listen to those songs? Listen to those songs, Makobura. Listen to Wenge Musica. Makobura.
Yes, I didn't listen to those songs during my generation yangu hatukusikiza hizo, but we are hopeful that with time
it is not about your generation. Anytime you realize that you are going to those old songs, know that you are growing old. That's how I usually say that. Okay, I'm growing old now.
Well, I do listen to those music, and partly I had some of the songs. I know some of the songs, but apparently I can't really see the button and others. Unfortunately.
Look at what Gibson Connor is saying, that Benson, I thought you were. No, Gibson Connor, let me tell you something about me. Is that like I usually get interested about the African issues because I'm one person that love Africa so much that everything that comes from Africa, I will always try to know how it's originated. Come even to Kiswahili. Talk about somebody that the music that I really love. Remy Ongala. That guy, talk about Remy Ongala. Talk about Jala Mjajabu. Talk about DCC.
Who is Brother Benson? This lady who sang Sweet Mother, I'll never forget you. This lady, what was the name of this lady? I forgot about this lady. She was from Nigeria. Yeah, she was from Nigeria. I forgot the name. I don't remember the name well.
but we have, like, sometimes you sit down and look at Africa and you say that Africa, we are so much blessed than any other continent. We are so much blessed in a way that we cannot imagine. You know, I was looking, even that if you're very keen, there's a song that Diamond sang about Zuena, and something that people do not know, that Zuena originated from one old mzee from Tanzania who sang about Zuena.
I remember. And you know, Zuena has been sung by a lot of artists. You know, Zuena even was being sung by. You remember these artists that died? I love their music. They're just spoken music. Yeah, this guy Radio and Weasel. You remember Radio and Weasel, the one who died? I remember. I was listening to their music. They had very good music. They sang about Zuena.
Yeah, they talk Zuena. Yes.
Yeah.
And also, there's also who else that always think about Mbarakambushe of Tanzania. Those are the diamonds of those days.
And music was very sweet at that time. Even the lyrics, even the sound. The sound, you know, nowadays I hear sound that is there, my friend, is just noise. Unajua, sijui kama ni mtu akizeeka unaona hizi mambo zinakuwa ni sauti, ni kelele. You know, the music we could listen to, it was cool music. You hear them talking Nairobi. You hear the warmth in the soul, my friend. You feel even
there was this that was sung.
Naambia Mark zile wimbo anajua. Mark nitamwambia zile anajua namguzia.
You know the one that was sung. Do you know the one that was sung by Les Wanyika? Yes, Les Wanyika.
Yeah, Les Wanyika sang a lot. Yeah, Les Wanyika sang.
Pamela. Mama, habari yako Esther? Nimekupata leo.
Na nyimbo nyingine hapa ya mtu anaitwa sijini John somebody. Twisty, unaijua?
John Gereza. John Gereza.
Sasa tunaona mimi najua hizo.
The one I sang about Les Wanyika in I sang his folk songs. We did a folk song about Les Wanyika. Les Wanyika had very good songs. But Franco alikuwa ameweza bwana. Franco was the king of pop bwana. Franco I think was the king of pop at that time than hata watu wanasemaga Michael Jackson. Me I say Franco was alikuwa moto bwana.
You know the reason because like there was a day somebody was telling me about Franco, especially when he came the first time he came to Kisumu, and what happened in Kisumu was the wall was brought down, and because they say Franco Luamboloazo was one person who was singing the song and they do recording at the same time when he having a show, he would do, and that is the time that they will do the recording of that show, and like people would love the Franco, and that's why after realizing the Mobutu Sese Seko realized that this guy was very powerful, then Mobutu Sese Seko had to force Franco to compose a song for him. That's why I say Mobutu Sese Seko. That was a song that Mobutu Sese Seko forced him to compose a song to praise Mobutu. You know that?
I know, I know the songs that Mark loves is Maroon Commandos. Let me give him to the Maroon Commandos. Yes. Maroon Commandos, najua yeye hawezi wasahau. You know, Maroon Commandos are from Kenya, a Kenyan band. So I know you know Maroon Commandos, Mark. Brother Mark, unaweza tuambia wimbo moja ya Maroon Commandos. Maroon Commandos hawezi sahau bwana. Yeah. Maroon Commandos are the ones who are sung in national holidays. Unazisikiaga hizo wimbo? All those songs that are sung is national celebrations. And there is one I really love, that one for Coast.
Mbona mtaki kukubali hata mimi najua hizo nyimbo zenye mnasema. Hii twist yenye nawaambia. Mimi napenda twist.
Mimi napenda twist.
Sisi wanyama wa porini tunao
and now And now when you come to our Kenyan music, to me there was this guy that I used to love. This called Salim. Salim used to sing a very good Mugithi. I would go and listen like when I was working, there was a time I came to relieve
But Brother Benson, Salim came and covered songs from other artists.
Yeah.
Like the songs you always hear. Like there was a guy who was blind. He was called Wanganangwe. That guy was removing music. Salim came and did a cover about. He was doing covers of the music because if you hear like this song of Lucy, Mwendo wa Rusi, this one, that one is the one we love so much. That one was a cover song for Wanganangwe. If you hear those songs, you hear the original ones. And there was one guy, Camaro is the one I think who was doing originally his songs, because this guy Salim, I think he was doing cover songs for those artists. He did cover songs for but he did some of his own, but he was doing more so the cover songs.
We are blessed as Africans.
But from Luo we have very good artists, my friend. I remember Susan Onowiyo, my friend. That lady could take the stage. That lady always took the stage, and I don't know.
Let me tell you, the song I love about Susan Onowiyo is usually my favorite. Is coming from her album. She sings about her mom. Oh, that song usually kills me dead. Like there was a time when I was working, and I was privileged to be among the guests that were being entertained by Susan Onowiyo in Imperial Hotel. No, I tell you, when Susan Onowiyo sang that song, until today, he has stuck with me. And the way she performed it, I tell you, and
she was marvelous.
The good thing is that I think the main reason why that song has stuck with me is that the way she did it, and you look at your life and the struggle that you have with your mom, actually prove it that our mothers are very, 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 very industrious people, and they're people who love us to love to see us succeeding. Susan Onowiyo.
Where I saw Susan Onowiyo was at a bit far in the concert. The one I really heard his music was Mtunduzi. The you know that Dodi Zedi what shall we do? That song, I really love that song. That song. But I heard it. There was having a gala about Africa, so I heard the song. I really admired that.
I don't know why when we look at our industry, especially our music entertainment industry, we appreciate what the young artists are doing, but at some point we are missing those good moments, especially the real. If you listen to Susan Onowiyo, listen to Eric Wainaina. There was this also Ellen Mtawali. I don't know whether
Ellen Mtawali. Ellen Mtawali was Ellen Mtawali, the sound, my friend.
There was a time when I was graduating. Actually, Ellen Mtawali is she's the person who sang during my graduation. I tell you,
but I think, Brother Benson, what we did, we lost our sound. We had sound. Every country has its own sound. We lost our sound. Our sound was being directed by the likes of the producers. You see the producers who are there when they were doing this sound. You find Akina RK. You find so good producers. But now you find the producers that came, they lost the sound of Kenya. There is no that Kenyan touch. You remember even the songs we could hear, Akina Bogabo. You could hear the sound that was behind it. Let me tell you, Brother Benson, if you go and put Kenyan music of 2000s, you cannot rate it with Kenyan music of now, because the sound was totally touching the crowd. Ilikuwa ingine tofauti sana. I wish you could have heard the sound.
So even when you bring back to now the new generation that were coming with the songs, you listen to people like the late Issa, you listen to people like Nameless, you listen to
Big Pin,
Lenny, and that was when Kenyan musicians were doing well. And I think during those times, I think Tanzania were not even close to us.
Akina Logombas, my friend. I think that was the golden age for Kenyan music, And Also Kenyan film. Even Kenyan film, Brother Benson. We're talking about music only. Kenyan film at that time it was top notch. Akina Vioja Mahakamani, akina Vitimbi, akina Mama. It was nice, my friend. Akina Tausi. There was a day we could sit down, we watched Tausi, my friend.
Let me tell you, Tausi was one of the favorite, like Tausi, Ndege Yangu.
Akina Baraza. People who are acting. Nowadays.
And even in their acting, you could learn, they were really depicting the real issues that people are going through, and it was so much entertaining such that you do not want to miss Tausi. Who would want to miss Tausi, really?
I don't think.
Yeah,
It was top notch. We were lagging behind in terms of technology, but it was top notch, my friend. The things that they were doing in the music industry, and that's why you saw even at that time, the music industry was not full of drama.
Yeah,
it was music. The entertainment industry, film was they were doing top notch work. Not like this nowadays. That's why you see people still want to do Vioja Mahakamani. Why? Because it was a thing that was articulated well.
And I think this is even what really is has come into the entertainment industry. If you look at the people who are in the entertainment industry, talk about our musicians, our artists, the legends. Talk about those who are in the football, any area, any sector of entertainment. They were driven with passion. Money was not an issue, because if you listen to them, how they just wanted to make sure that they showcase their talent, want to let the society know who they were. But nowadays it's kind of like you find that even what usually take the center stage is not the talent but the looks, and those who have the talent, it is not being it is not being exploited fully. Because I really get very sad. Remember the lady who played Kaveve Kazoze? Yeah,
I remember.
Remember that song?
Yes, I remember it.
That song hit the waves, and she made like the views within a short period of time. She hit 1 million within a short period of time. And what happened was that immediately after trending, she started to get the gigs. But how can you maintain to be in the industry? Because like to be in the industry, you cannot maintain the industry by having one song. So what usually happens is that we come with one hit. After coming with one hit, we make the money, but we do not make that like, this is my regular job. That how can I make the entertainment? I'm an entertainer. How can I brand myself and make sure that each and every morning I have to find a way of how should I compose the music? How should I have the good managers? How should I make sure that each and every day I have like around 10 music, that if this one loses now traction, then I bring in another one. That's why you find that.
I was going through why gospel music fell. Do you remember gospel music was the talk of town from 2007? Because I know the secular music was about 2000, from 1998, the music we had about Akina Isa to 2006. Then the gospel industry started to take over from 2007. And I always hear what Rafton used to say. Rafton said that when they were singing, they were the first starters of the music. They brought in the youth. Tukaacha kusikiza ile gospel tulikuwa tunasikiza ya kina, what do we call this lady? They were the kipofu. You remember these ladies they were singing before. So they changed the gospel sound. But they said that they were doing it with passion. You see, they said they were the pace setters. They said even they never got something big from the industry because they were the pace setters. But you see, the people who came after, after they were laid the ground, the people who came, they are the ones who came to make money from the gospel industry. Then after came the people who finished the gospel industry. And we know them. I don't want to say their names, but the people who came to finish the gospel industry. So these are things that happen. Even politics is the same. You cannot. That's why I'm telling you cannot compare the 2007 parliament with this one. You'll never compare it.
Laban is reminding us of Brother Ben Makongolo Church
From
from
Tanzania.
Tanzania.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm?
That
Yeah,
one
so
huyo simjui vizuri. Maybe you can tell us.
Kitojinyama Church Choir. Yeah, he's talking about those musics.
Oh, the choirs who are there, eh?
There was this one also that trended. Oh, kule binguni.
Yeah. There was very good choirs by the way. Kulikuwa na kwaya mzuri na kaza mwendo eneza na ulichona. There was good choirs, you know. Even that time we were listening them with the cassette. Unakumbuka ilikuwa ile ya A and B. So mlikuwa mmewekea unacheza that time they had brought the cassette. Wachana there was the kinandas, then they brought the cassette. Kwanza hiyo ungejaribu kucheza na radio ya babu kucheza na radio yake na inachezaga side A na B it was terrible, but we have come from far, but I miss the olden times, brother. I miss the olden times.
And that's like I usually say that enyewe ukisikia tumetoka mbali na I think where we've lost it, when you look at Tanzania, the reason why you find that the Tanzanian musicians, even though the money that you find that those who have been in the industry even for a short period of time, in terms of their economy of scale, they are flourishing. One is some of them have identified that yeah. So what they've done is that like some of them have realized that entertainment pays, especially based on how they've made their laws, and each and every day, especially when you look at Diamond, he had made the music to be like his job, that is his job,
and they carry themselves in another way. You see, he's an artist, there is the artist, the way you carry yourself. You see, the person me I highly rate in Tanzania. I highly rate this guy called Alikiba. Alikiba ni mtu mzee bana kwa industry. Let us not see him like that. Do you know Alikiba sang which song? 2005. 2005 he sang the song Cinderella. I don't know if you remember it. Mara ya mwisho mimi na wewe, and it was played even in the campaign for 2007. So let us check from 2005 to 2025. How many years has he been in the industry?
No, he has been 20.
And 20 years.
And Alikiba, when you talk of Alikiba, Alikiba is so talented because, like, this is a guy. When it comes to live performance, Alikiba does it well. He is somebody who doesn't struggle, especially, and I usually compare Alikiba with Diamond. The difference between Alikiba and Diamond is one person that has a small talent, but is pushing himself. And is somebody who have lived in. He understands what poverty means, and every opportunity that comes, he will make sure that he does something. Like he is somebody, he pushes himself. But now, when it comes to real music and real performance, my friend, I tell you, Diamond cannot do Alikiba in terms of like performance with ease. Alikiba is talented.
He's way top. He's way top. But Diamond also is very good because he has his own genre, and he has his own. But I think the thing that has made them to stay in the industry for long is display. Do you know what happens to a Kenyan artist? You hear Malisa Fichito. What he said? Don't play my songs. So you wonder, my friend, you have sung for us a song. You are a one-hit wonder. Then you have played your song. Then you have told DJs not to play your song. DJs are the ones who made us to know your song. So how are you saying because you have seen, you have gotten views, you will just become like that?
This is what we used to get choirs from KBC coming from Kijabe Lutheran Church on every Friday from So those are some.
Umekumbusha watu mbali sana brother Ben. Umekumbusha mbali.
Like I can remember, even though I think the reason what attached me so much to the African way of life is that the people who are around me, especially the old people. You know, sometimes if you sit down with them, I tell you, these people have stories.
Yeah.
They will tell you, and tell you again. It tells you like these people used to live lives, you know. That is
Kabisa.
like what we
Eh,
are living is not life. We are struggling, I tell you.
And you know those guys, even they were designing their own clothes.
Yeah, they were.
They were even designing their own clothes. They were coming with the clothes within their ears. If you look at the clothes they were wearing, very bottoms and the hair, even the hair, they were articulating their hair and everything. So when you look at over the edges, you know, I always say, as we look at Africa also, we need to look at how this 90s changed, really changed. Because 90s and 70s really changed the world.
The world.
Because if you look even in the classics, high classics, the music, the souls and the souls before the R&B came, the souls. This
Yeah.
one you hear Akina Michael Jackson and Akina Whitney Houston. If you look at them, they really changed the appearance of music, and also they were making. You know that time also racism was very high, but I think they changed the industry because you know at that time. Do you know at that time you could not have an African man or a woman being showcased in the media, in the TV.
Yeah.
They came and changed it because the people who came and set the pace. And if you go and look, just go and look, brother. You know I don't like to be racist or something, but go and look. If you look at the big stars who have made it in the music industry, just go and look. They are of which ethnic place. You find they have African something in them. Even Bob Marley, just go and look all of them. Just look at the people who are there. The pop, the Akina Michael Jackson. Just go and look all of them. Akina Luther Vandross. If you go and look at those guys, brother, you see the impact that they made. Also, you know they made an impact even for the African society and even at abroad and at home.
You know, something that also I've seen to have really changed, especially the burial rites. You know, when I reflect back and listen to those old wise men, I call them the ancestors. When how the burial rites, especially in my community, on how they used to do it. You know, one of the things that they used to do, and I tell you how intelligent Africans were. Yeah, that if somebody dies, especially in my community, somebody had to take 3 days before they get buried. And what would happen is that if they die, they will put some soil in a particular corner and pour some water in it and get like the banana leaves, like, you know, and this leaf, they will lie in those leaves, and this one will even is like to preserve the body for those period of time. And what would happen is that the whole community, if you're coming from a community, let's say like from a community, all of you, that day, from the day the person dies, everybody will migrate and people will pitch tent at that home. People will be cooking there as a family. People will be sleeping there. Those your homes, they will not be, nobody will be going back to those homes. The cows and everything will be brought here. And this was just only to give the moral support of the bereaving family. Even after burial, they will stay, then later they would leave. But if you look at today is quite much different. You know, today, if when you see, when you talk about befitting send-off, my friend, it is a befitting. The money
And you know one thing that makes me afraid about that, Brother Benson.
Yeah.
You know, these days we have the best technology that money can buy and medicine and what have you. But do you know, long time ago, kusikia mtu amekufa kwa kijiji yenyu, it was a very big deal.
Yeah.
You hearing somebody has passed. It was something that was shocking to the whole community. But nowadays, you go and check. Mtu anakufa, amezikwa, watu wamesahau. Hata unasikia wengine wameenda kunywa pombe hiyo jioni. They forget about that and they brother, nowadays dying is like flies. You know how the fly dies? We are told it's 7 days. I don't know what. 7 days for them to stay. So I don't know, but lifestyle really changed.
And something that also people do not know. And you know, when you sit down and look at, you know, all these things that are happening, even with baby shower, all that, the when somebody dies, you find that you have your different regalia from people. You know, those are not new. Those things were there even in the old tradition.
They were there. Yeah, they were there.
Yeah,
Even the naming ceremony was there. First of all, even there was a naming ceremony. Even baby shower, there was a naming. They went even for naming, and they could bring even gifts and what have you.
But you know how they used to do baby shower. You know, let me teach people today, because like I've had an interaction with the ancestors, those who have passed away. The baby shower was done immediately after the birth of the child. It was not done before the birth. You know that. The reason why, in African traditional society, they believe that during that time a woman is very fragile, and his life is very fragile. And also they believed in what we call the witchcraft, you know, that there are people who, the bad omen, you know, so they will try to keep it so much secret. So what will happen is that because they knew that there are three things that would happen, especially for a woman. Not yeah, let me count. When a woman is pregnant, is either because it was very something that was taken seriously during at birth. What can happen is that either woman can make it, or the baby doesn't make it, or the baby can make it, or the woman doesn't make it, or either, or both of them cannot make it, you know, or they can come out now all of them, you know. So they say that, okay, for us to 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 deal with this matter, we should not bring you gift before. So when you give birth, that is when the message will go around the village. Or what has happened? He has brought a son, a daughter. That's when, and they were very particular. Those who are coming to visit, you cannot just only come to visit. And there were those days that you would visit, you know. And it was a sacred, you know. And maybe Laban Misiani can tell us on how it used to be, and it has a meaning for it, you know. But nowadays, you know, we do it before, and in the before, especially when a situation whereby the mother come out safely and the baby doesn't come, what are you going to do with the clothes? It remains a remembrance. It will always kill you emotionally. So that's why
I think what happened, Brother Benson, is
yeah
the mortality rate at olden times was very low. It's not like right now. You know, right now it happens, but it's very hard for you. Maybe when you have complications, but it's very hard kusikia ati mtoto alikufa after mzazi amegive birth. So it happens, but it's very rarely you'll hear that. So I think the mortality rate between that time and now is a very different case. That's why you could see the children were celebrated so much. When you got a child and it was healthy, it was celebrated so much. You know, nowadays unasikia tu mtu amezaa unamwambia congratulations nini, and it's done.
And you know, and it was a societal, it was a societal celebration, you know. One of the things that usually happened in your society, if you give birth or your wife gives birth, the society will be celebrating, or with this one of us, they call it the new visitor in the village, or and it will go. Oh, I tell you, like if you listen to those stories,
and you know one thing that has changed also, you need to say, Brother Benson, also punishment was communal. If you found a child doing wrong, you could see a person could tell them, but right now jaribu kucheza na mtoto wa mtu. You saw another video, somebody saying that nimepata kasichana kanakuliwa na siafu pale, but siwezi jaribu kukaguza because the moment I will try, I'll be told, I'll be put on cases I don't know. So I think even the society got rotten because of as we go. Mtu anasema kwa nini uliguza mtoto wangu? You know, long time mimi nimechunwa mara ngapi na mpaka na neighbor mpaka kuchapwa bwana. And there is nothing you could do. Kwanza ukisema ati nimechunwa na baba nani, hata afadhali sasa unyamaze sasa.
Ukichunwa tu wewe nyamaza tu, hata unaomba watu usiambie babangu, kwa sababu that will be a double tragedy. Atakupiga babako pia kuja kupiga.
It was a problem. Hata mimi singejaribu kuambia mzazi ati kwanza unaulizwa kwanza sasa unaanzaga za kuulizwa kabla unaulizwa umeekelewa, ukiuliza kwa nini ulikuwa umefanya. So and you know at that time parents were responsible. Mzazi alikuja aseme na mkijana wako amekuwa hivi na even us mingling with ladies. Kitambo ndio tulikuwa tunaogopa because you don't know who is watching. Unaweza sikia umeitaniwa kama mkutano na wazee and it was not good, but all in all things change. Hatuwezi lelea watoto the way tulikuwa tunalelewa. You know, us tulikuwa ngumu sana. Me I appreciate sometimes I found my grandfather was well. Alikuwa anafanyia kazi Muhindi. So we got some TVs. So we were watching the TV. The TV ilikuwa kwetu kijiji. TV ni sisi tulikuwa nayo, a black and white grade wall. So and then my grandfather was coming with a pickup. Alikuwa anatubeba sisi wote watoto wanatupeleka Uhuru Park. So that was the time tulikuwa tunabebwa na pickup. So I really miss those days, but now we cannot live in there. Unajua wakati ni ile ulikuwa unaona mpaka even the advertisements, they were very juicy. You know, nowadays I think things changed.
Let me tell you something that also happened. Anyway, that was too detailed. So, Joseph, before we wind up, there's something that I want us to weigh our thoughts on, because like this is something that yesterday we spoke about it, and today also I want to speak about it. We are talking about the senator, the nominated senator that was released from our duties. Especially, we are talking of Gloria Orioba. You know, and what I want to bring to your attention is about the interaction between even the police themselves and the people. You know, especially when the police is coming to arrest you, or not even arrest you, to come and de-escalate, because that should be the best word for the police, to de-escalate. But if you see on how the Orioba was handled, that is the first case, and you see how also the leader was talking to the police. You know, what does it depicts about our society, especially when it comes to handling people, the police themselves? You know, how are you handling? You're arresting somebody, unamshika mguu. How should you arrest? And how should you, on the process of arresting as a leader, how should you respond to the police? Because they're all human beings too.
Yeah, let me start. All of them, they had mistakes.
Yeah.
And let me start with the politician. It was very wrong for her to do that, because you cannot come and lock the gates of parliament because of something that happened between you and your party.
Yeah.
If that something happened between you and your party, you are supposed to go to UDA offices, not to go to parliament, because UDA is the one which deprived her of a nomination as a senator.
Yeah.
So I think she went to the wrong avenue to go and bring her case. She could have gone to the party organ, so that he could have bring all those cases she wanted to bring, because already she's not a senator. Says yes, she's senator. She was removed as a senator. You know, when you are given these nominations, just know you are given them from the party that you are in. Yeah. So wacha ukaa kama wewe ni elected bwana. The elected people can never compare to you. Elected hakuna kitu watafanya na hiyo chama. They can whip him of the committees and what have you, but hawezi mtoa kwa bunge. But you as a nominated, you need to give your full support to the party that has nominated you. Okay, coming to the side of police. Brother, our policemen, I don't know if they need education or they need to be sat down. They be taught about the work of a police officer and the way they can de-escalate issues.
Yeah.
They really don't know what they are supposed to do. And it's very sad that a country like Kenya in 2025, we can be having scenes like that, that a police officer, a lady first.
Yeah.
Leave even Orioba being her leg being the woman catching the leg of Orioba. There was another incident. I saw a police officer slapping a lady. A female police officer slapping a lady.
That was during the Mandamano. I think it was in Mombasa.
In Mombasa. In Mombasa. So I wondered, and so what are we doing? If mothers can be able even to slap the other ladies, so when a man slaps a woman, what will they say? Because if a woman is slapping a police, you know when you're given that uniform, brother, we say as a police officer, you're given that uniform to serve and protect. Your work is not nothing else apart from serving and protecting. And how are you supposed? You know, we have been here. Some of us have been in abroad. We have seen how police carry themselves, brother. And if you look at how Kenyan police carry themselves, brother, you can even wonder who takes time to train these guys. Because there's no day you come and tell me a police officer But I think also, you not tell me that a police officer will come and arrest that, will come and even put chains on Oruba. You know, they were putting even chains on her neck.
Yep.
You saw them putting chains. So, who really does civic education to these policemen? Because it is a problem.
You know, do you think, because like, you know, something that we would talk about, do you think this is a societal problem, or this is a police problem, or the people's problem? Because it's not only with the police, because like let's face it, because sometimes also there's that how we relate to these police officers, you know, and maybe the approach we give them, you know, also kind of like demean them in their duties, especially even if you look at the antarescence of the leader to the police officer, you know, even if they are trained. Is it a societal problem, and this is also encompasses as us as the citizens and the police also, or it is only the police, not us?
I think it goes above the board in every person, and even in the police. It goes up to the police and the citizens. You know, sometimes I feel mercy for the police, and then sometimes I feel mercy for the masses. Because if I look at the incidents that we have gone through, you know, if you can take note of the incidents that we have gone through, like the one of this guy that was beating a police officer. You remember this young kid, the Gen Z kid who was beating a police officer, a traffic police officer.
A traffic police officer, yes.
Yeah. Then you come and look at the way people are handled when they are going to, even a person like Boniface Karaoke, who was not doing anything. He was shot point blank. You know, you wonder other incidences, how will you be able to mitigate? You know, there is one day a police officer came to where I was, in a college I was, and they were being invited to talk to the people and the youth. You know, at that time when you're in college, they want to talk to you so much. The administration want to talk to you. You know, that police officer said something that sent chills to my spine, when he said that polisi wakienda kule ndani kiganjo, ile oath wanakula si mchezo. So I thought, if they go and eat that oath, na police officer akitoka kiganjo, see the same person you knew. So the person you knew is a totally different person from the person who comes from there. But I don't believe in what you were saying, because we have seen police officers who are genuine and they do their work to the best. I've seen some of them, and it's not all police officers. Some of them, I think, but the circumstances that the government has put these police officers, brother, you know, it is very shocking and very demeaning. You find a police officer has been given the rooms that he stays in. It gives you even your it's called what, self-esteem goes low. Imagine ukitoka kwa mabati around, brother, that asubuhi unaamka unatoka kwa mabati around. How will your self-esteem be? And you are holding a gun. Uko na bunduki, and you have regalia, and then you are given power. You are given power, but you're not given the funding that comes with it. So when you look at these issues, you see Kenya as a society and the government also, we have failed to address some of the, because if you look at some of the police officers in countries where we have been, I think even where you are, you can see these conditions they stay in. You find even the conditions that they say in, it is even hard for them to accept for things like corruption, you see, bribes, because if the salary is good, they're staying in good conditions, they can be given housing, they can stay in good houses, they have pension and what have you. How do you expect the police officer to be taking bribes? Even if they are taking bribes, you can be arresting them at that point. But you tell them that you're giving them 15,000, 25,000, brother, and then you tell them, when a person has a gun, akona bunduki, alafu mwambie ati hautaki kusikia ukichukua hongo. That guy, what will he do with the gun? He will start stealing from the citizens. That is what will happen.
Okay, thank you. And you know, I've also interacted with some police officers. I tell you, despite the fact that sometimes we see a kind of like these scenes, and it's worrying, especially because, like, to me, the police officers, these are our brothers, these are our sisters, these are our mothers, these are our seniors, and you know, they are in. But like I've also interacted with some of the Kenyan police, especially the traffic police. There was a time I was on my way to Migori, and I interacted with them. Like I tell you, and sometimes it forces you as a person, if God has blessed you with something, not that you're bribing them, but you appreciate what they are doing. You know, first of all, some of them are very respectful, especially when they're approaching issue. You know, and you have just to listen to them and say that, okay, I was just doing this, and okay, thank you, brother, I was just doing my job. Oh, just have a good day. And it gives you a picture of another Kenya of security enforcement who really cares about their country. They cares about their job, even with the maybe the kind of life they're living, but they still do their job well, and to make sure that they give you that Kenyan dream that you always think of.
Brother, let me ask you a question.
Mm.
What if we could give our doctors, our teachers, our policemen good houses, like the houses they are building, and we give them good salary? Where do you think Kenya could be
We could have been very far.
if we give them those facilities?
And forget about even that. Like the people that I'm sometimes are so much concerned is about, even though I know there's we would say that, my brother, that there's no good relation between the police and the public based on what has really happened. But sometimes I reflect back about our police officers. Remember, this person sometimes stands on the traffic on that, kwa hiyo jua, alafu unaona gari pia ambayo imepakiwa hapo mahali, gari yao hata saa zingine unaona hii gari hata haina amani, yani hauna imani nayo. Yeah,
Do you know how a traffic police officers do here? When there's traffic, they stay in the car.
They stay in their car.
They stay in the car. And my friend, let me tell you, kulingana na vile watu wamepea heshima polisi huko, you not even try and do what people do at overlapping and doing what, when they stand, ukisikia tu mataa ya polisi imesimama here, you just stop, you go and hear what they are telling you. If they are telling you to, brother, and you know why I come and talk about this country? I mean, there is nothing big that this country has done, brother, because 2005, you could have not treated this country with Kenya at all. Ungeiweka wapi kwa sahani na Kenya? It could have not been. Kenya gained independence in 1963. Kenya was supposed to be very far, but this country has just overtaken Kenya, brother. The only thing that they have is oil. We have sold a lot of things in my country, but imagine that we came out from Kenya to come to a country like this one. This country now has jumped to second world country, and we are living in a third world country when we gained our independence in 1963. You know, it is a shame. I always feel ashamed. Then you see other countries like Akina Singapore, countries that we were giving loans, brother. Akina Malaysia, countries that we never thought they could reach where they are. And so many countries you can check who we started together. Some of them are not at par with us. We are below average in terms of everything. And it sends me shocking chills that right now we cannot even do the little things like sort out our health sector, our education sector. You know, when we were starting to become a republic, we were saying we are going to fight three things. Three things were the ones we were saying we are going to fight. We were to fight poverty. We were to fight ujinga, which is I think ujinga you translate in English, and we were to fight another thing. There was three things that were disturbing Kenya at that time.
Where do we put illiteracy in it?
Yeah, I think illiteracy is the ujinga part of it. And there was a third one. I don't remember the third one, but those three things were the ones we were to deal with. Brother, tell me any three things we have dealt with. Tell me any of the three we are dealing with, because I see we are back to where we were.
We are back from where we are because, like, since independence, we are still dealing with the issue of health. Since independence, we are still dealing with the issue of education. You know, and like sometimes I usually say that we are retrogressing. We are not progressing. We are any milestones that we make, we find ourselves going backward. And I don't know, because you cannot even blame. I don't know who even to blame, because we are part of it. This process we've come, because, like, sometimes I sit back and say, okay, let's say that it's because of political leaders. And who gives these political leaders power? Is you voting for them? Because how do you vote for them? Because they've given you small money, and that you feel like, okay, because you've given me small money, I need to vote for you. And you don't look it in terms of long term. What is the long term?
Brother, I blame a lot of things. I blame my forefathers. Not the ones who fought for independence because they had a way of what they wanted for their Kenya, but the ones who came after. I blame them for everything, because I blame them because they are the ones who have put them in this mess. They have put us in this mess we are. Because when we started Kenya, we had very good visionary leaders. The likes of Akina Tomboy, the likes of Akina Pioga Mapinto. We had very good leaders. But what happened to them? They were killed. We were robbed. Do you know Kenya? How many leaders we are robbed of? Good leaders.
Good leaders. The people who really had the vision, and people who knew the fabric of this nation.
Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. I can even start for you. We had Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. We had Pioga Mapinto, the first one to be killed. We have Tom Mboya. We can have JM Karaoke. We have another one called Matiba. We have another one called Saitoti. Brother, we have been robbed so many good people. Of now, I don't know. We were being left with the bad people. Kenya, I think if we could have been led by the likes of Akina Tomboy, I don't know where we could be.
And usually I say that when people talk about Tom Mboya, I say that was a guy who was ahead of his peers. And I don't think, like, even today, if something to say that Tom Mboya could resurrect, like, he would be very, 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 very much disappointed, especially if he sees this country, the kind of chaotic in terms of leadership and in terms of the political, and even in terms of everything. They will be disappointed, people like JM Karaoke, because, like, there's something that they were pushing for.
And I blame even the first president, the founding father.
Yeah,
he did very bad things, because the moment he started hearing rumors from people's ears, and he started forming those things that he was saying that they are oath and what that is useless oath, and then after that, we got another monster, brother, by the time you the second one, that, brother, we have not been able to move. 24 plus 15 is how many years? 24 plus 15.
That is almost like 39 years.
39 years, Kenya stood still. 39 years. Do you imagine 39 years what happened to Singapore? 39 years what happened to China? 39 years. We stood still. It's like the way Joshua told God, Simamisha hii jua stuck in any. That is how Kenya stood still. And brother, I blame it on you see, the administrations and the people who are there. And also, you can say people did not vote for the right leaders, but I believe also people were voting and they were trying to remove. But you know what was happening. They were stealing and doing what have you. So for 2000, at least we got a president who showed us where we were supposed to be. We were supposed to be. A president called Kibaki came and showed us where we were supposed to be, even if he had all the struggles within even 2007 post-election and what have you. He showed us where Kenyan potential could have been. But then we got another monster, brother. I don't know what we get, monsters. We got another monster by the name of Ruto, my friend. They have taken us down the drain. Because what I thought, because Uhuru was the economy when he got it was a bit well off. What I thought he could have come and done, he could have come and bettered the economy and put the infrastructure in place and curb the stealing. That was the only three things I wanted him to do. He never curbed the stealing. The economy became into tatters. Then infrastructure, okay, we can say he did some infrastructure here and there. But we got another person, brother, who we thought now is going to come and I don't like to talk about these things because they make me angry. Because, brother, I always sit down and I rewind and I see where Kenya could have been.
Yeah.
that we could have not even be importing people for services. We could be at home working in good health. We could have been the one people are envying. They could be saying, "Hey, you do know one day, do you know these days? I always see people from the US, they are coming back to Kenya. Do you see that?
Yeah.
There's people who are coming back to Kenya. They are not Kenyans. They are citizens from USA. They are running away from USA. Why are those people running away? Do you always ask yourself that question?
Yeah, because like Kenya has good offers in terms of when you talk economy of scale, and you know sometimes it's tough out here.
Yeah, then why are Kenyans running away from Kenya? Because now that is another question.
Maybe because like maybe you know there's a believability that maybe I can make it outside, because you know and you can talk about the people who are coming, especially those are people who are now retiring, majority of them if you look at them, and they are retiring. But you know the Kenyans who are running away from it, they're just looking for jobs.
So what can we say about our country, about the two scenarios? Because those two scenarios, they are very worrisome.
Yeah, they are.
Because if you can be having people flocking to Kenya to do the investments, but others are running away, you know, that thing also always puzzles my mind. But I always have a good vision for my country. I always like my country. You know, there's things that we are, not everything has been dark and doom as we can say everything. We have had so things we have seen. We have had counties that have grown. You know, I always check. I don't know if you go under the Kenyan historian or you watch this Alex Chamwada media. I always watch these things, and I always watch even for the revivals of the cities that are becoming or the Konza city, like the Tatu city. I always go and check these things out, like the infrastructure that has been done in Isiolo. Do you know Isiolo was not you could have not lived. You know me, Isiolo, I went to Isiolo in 2017, but the Isiolo right now you cannot even know it because of how it has grown. So I think it's not all dark and doom, as we say it. Sometimes the people who are there also, even if they did not do anything of that substance, they also did something. You know, you cannot bash every person. There is a bus, there be a wrong and a right also in the person. Like Moi, we can appreciate him. You saw the stadium that he built are the ones which you were playing for Chan. Is those were his stadiums. He's the one who built those stadiums. You can also check at the KICC where we were holding the conferences for the Chan and what have you. You know who the president who built. Then we come to Kibaki, we appreciate him for the education sector, free education and SMEs and banking, opening of the banking system and so many things. Then when you come to Uhuru by the end, I always, there is a bad side and a good side of him. In the infrastructure, that guy did marvelous. You know, isipokuwa ni vile tuliibiwa with the SGR, brother. That thing is fantastic. Ukienda uangalia hizo stations, the SGR station, you know, I always watch some people from Uganda and Nigeria, they always come. I always watch their vlogs. Do you know they come and they are amazed? Unajua hii Nairobi terminus inakaa kama airport, brother.
Yeah, the Nairobi terminus is one of the best actually.
Inakaa kama airport. That lady even today I was hearing her, she said, and even the security. There is even one tourist who was saying from abroad, from Canada, I think. Alikuwa anasema hii hapa hata security ile iko hapa kwa SGR hata si kama ile iko kwa airport. And you know even the passage that they pass before they enter the train, you always look, it is always looks like sijui kama hata umeangalia ile ya Mombasa, brother. You know, but the problem is these things are good, but ile pesa inaekago hapo, the money that is put for this they are always bloated, you see. That's the issue.
Mismanagement of the funds that goes. But like if you look at the picture, if you picture it, they have very good picture. But what happens now when it comes to funds? That's now where the problem is. I think we have this appetite of money. Like we want to get rich quick. That is what I would say.
Yeah, there is the appetite for corruption. But things have been built. Rather, things have been built. I've seen them. I've seen some things which have been built. Because you see that I would like to, you when you come home, just tell me we'll visit Uhuru Gardens. I don't know
Yeah,
if you saw that Nini museum.
yeah.
I want even to take my kids there. There's good things that were done, and
No,
there's things that
you know, despite the political discourse that we usually have, there are things that actually on the other side, if you look at the country, Kenya has like amazing stuff. You know, it's just like one thing that I think has really catch up. The only place that we are not doing well as a country when it comes to the political issues and leadership, that is the only place that I think like we need to change on how we do our things, because Kenyans have never failed, because like look at even when people like when Faith Kipyegon is going for a competition, or you know, Kenya, from all walks of life, they take it as their own responsibility, you know. But
yeah
the only place that we find ourselves having these issues, we call
is
each other,
political.
you know, and we insult each other, you know, during the campaign. Sometimes it even worries more when the political leaders will come to podium and the words they say, the
Yeah,
things they say actually will even hurt you. So I think it's only the political line that we don't do better. If we can do better in the political landscape, we can do better with our leadership. We can be people who respect the rule of law. Actually, Kenyan, we can do good, and we forget
yeah.
about this the politics of division. You know, and be you
And
know.
I hope I can see more of a president who's coming with more of the like the stadiums. You see the stadiums? You
Yeah,
can have like the stadiums in in like five of the top cities. You
yeah.
have like a stadium like the one which is being built. Do you know if you have only eight stadiums, eight, eight,
Hmm.
you can be
Hmm.
able to host the World Cup? If you
Yeah,
have eight of the stadiums,
mm,
the stadiums you see like the Talanta, you
hmm.
have eight of them, and you
Okay.
see we have Kisumu, Mombasa, and we have Nakuru
Hmm.
city, and
Hmm.
we can have one in Kakamega,
And
and we have
Eldoret,
one, yeah, Eldoret, and we
yeah,
can have one. Kiambu iko karibu, Kasarani iko karibu, so no need
yeah.
that one. And we can have one in Isiolo. It can be diverse, you see. I'm telling you, sports can grow the country, brother. This country I am, it has grown because of sports.
Yeah, you know what one you know there are things that make country thrive, especially when it comes to exploit, like how you nurture the talents that people have. Especially look at what is happening, especially in the music industry. Look at what is happening, especially in countries where the sports are given. How many endorsements are those players are getting? And this endorsements, they get this money, they plow it back in the economy. And what
Yeah.
happens? You have that circulation of money. You know, when you get a Nike coming to sponsor one of the players, you know, this person, if somebody who has come, you know, how many of them will sponsor, even go to the mtaa and say that as a footballer, I want to sponsor this team
Like
and we
like
want
this
this
guy,
player.
like this guy Ryan Ogam. You know
Yeah,
Ryan Ogam, the guy who was the scorer, the
yeah,
top scorer in Kenya. Right
yeah,
now, which club has he gone? He has gone to a European club.
yeah. So
I went to a European club, and the other day he had an injury. Angecheza hata alikuwa na injury, angecheza Kenya Premier League, and then he came and he played in the national team. That guy now is going places. Huyo ameitwa, and I'm not telling you only Ogame. There's many people who are being called out
and,
to the
and yeah, and then you see that immediately after. And the good thing is that like when you travel outside the country, that's when you will see the potential of your country. You know, you cannot see Kenyan potential until you leave that country.
and they always help people in the ground. Do you know like Olunga?
Yes.
Olunga has a whole nini that trains kids, and they even give education. Inaitagwa Mofa. Michael
Yeah.
Olunga Foundation, I think Mofa. Inaitagwa Mofa. Michael
Yeah.
Olunga something. Mofa,
Yeah.
I know it. And also we have Wanyama has one. So you see when
Wanyama.
these guys, when they go outside and they can be able to come and give these kids. Unajua kunaendaga hivi brother Benson. Unaona wakati kama huyo Ogama ametoka ameenda
Mhm.
ameweza kuenda kuchezea nje hata sahau. You see
Yeah.
the way Osino Dhiambo asked about Baba Ndogo. You see
Yeah.
the talent, and I'm telling you, brother, you see Kenya in terms of football, not in terms of only football. And I'm very angry at Ruto for one thing. Ruto is supposed to call the volleyball players. anafaa
Yes,
waite. He's
yes, by
supposed to
now.
call them and talk to them, because
Talk to them, yes.
it's very unfair. Those ladies, they are playing their heart out. I don't know
Oh,
if you have watched the volleyball.
I watched some of the highlights. I saw this lady, I don't know by the name, but like the way she shot that ball and like the opponent had to fall. And she was given an opportunity, especially there's one lady that was given an opportunity with the media house, and the journalist asked her, okay, what do you have for your fans and for your country, and just speak it in your own language. And I love how she did it, but just by speaking in Kiswahili, you know, and that's what is required for you, especially wacha mambo ya kizungu mingi na hii ya kutueng. Ukipatiwa nafasi ongea lugha yako. And I was really proud of her when she was given that opportunity to say something for the fans and to the people of his
Na
country.
ukipata hiyo chance kuongea na president, mwambie shida zenyu. The way Austin went and told them, mi nataka stadium baba. Go and talk do you know, even I told you about cricket here, you laughed, brother Benson. Unajua cricket, Kenya was playing with Qatar the other day, and they lost only by 8 wickets. 8 wickets only. And it's not only, even hockey, brother. Do you know, I was checking. Sijui kama uende uangalie the secondary schools, East Africa secondary schools games.
Yeah.
Do you know Kenya won volleyball? They won rugby. They won hockey, and they won what else? They won athletics. I wish you can go and check. They were number one. Even Tanzania by the way iko inaonekana kwa hiyo list. I don't even football, the ones who won were Uganda. I was checking at that. Na ukiangalia wale watu wameshinda wengi hapo, you could say from East Africa, Kenya topped that group because they were winning in major events. We have even, my brother, do you know, even we have what is this, javelin?
Yeah.
Javelin.
And yeah, we know, and you know, when you speak about the Austin, the guy, especially who advocated for Babadogo, it tells you the heart they have. Like, he's not selfish, you know. He had an opportunity with the president. He could have asked something, okay, president, I'm lacking the boots, or I want this. But what did this guy ask for? He just said that ile uwanja, you know, because he believed in what that field can do, you know. So it tells you, it tells you, like, the problem we have, Kenyans do not have a problem. Our problem is in the leadership here, in the political example. That's where our problem is, because, like, in majority of times, or in most of the cases, you think like a politician will ask something for other people. First of all, I will look for myself first, then say that, okay, how am I going to satisfy myself? Then after that, the little that I've been given, I will point out at some of my cronies to divide amongst my crony. But when the opportunity came with the president, what did he do? He said that, okay, to me, ile field ndio mimi nataka, you know. And, you know, these are very tiny things and people take them, but it has a greater meaning. Look at somebody who is a Kenyan who just thinks that the only thing he can do for Kenya is to grab a land which is meant for recreation and nurturing the talents of fellow Kenyans, instead of even putting money so that that can be upgraded. Yeah. But now what you see is about this land, like you want to build some house that is going to benefit you. So that is what sometimes.
And also, brother Benson, one thing I've noticed, when you have people representing the sports that is played, that thing will grow. You see, like the way we have KFKF being represented by footballers, people who played football, they know what football is. Leave the people you always bring here, that Akina Nikmondo, who don't know about football. They don't know anything about management of football. You go to volleyball. Do you know why I always kuringa na rugby here? Rugby waga inasimamiwa na akina nani, because people have never known. Rugby inasimamiwa na wale wamekuwa wakicheza rugby. You never see somebody he has been there in athletics coming to kusimamia rugby. And I'm telling you, the sports that has never fallen down in Kenya since time it was invented ni rugby. And rugby, you'll always see, they always have their own even tournaments. When we see football tournaments, you always hear rugby tournaments. You hear they have sevens, Masaku sevens, Embu sevens, Kisumu sevens, Nakuru sevens. And do you know that thing? Umewahi kusikia mchezaji wa rugby akienda kuambia president usaidie?
No.
Why don't you hear that?
because and you know the reason why I agree with you, you know, like most of the time, like some of this position has always been used to reward your loyalist, or you know, they don't give you that position to make sure that the people achieve, or the team achieve what is meant for, but you're put there to be as a place for rewarding, so that you can get some money, you know, because you can't find like somebody does not have any knowledge or any experience, especially when it comes to rugby, but you are put in the place whereby you are the decision maker. How can you make decision of something of a rugby team, for instance, that's something that you've never interacted with it in your entire life, in your entire career, and now you come and you say that, okay, I'm the boss here. Do you think that you can perform? No, I don't think so.
And I also want to concur with what Gypsy is saying. So
Yeah.
many Kenyans have left Kenya because of those things that are happening. They are not rewarded well. They are not
Yeah.
even nini by their country. Si nilikwambia hapa, tulikuwa naye juzi, nilikwambia wanakuja kutaja mtu akikufa. We hear the joke at Ndege Stadium. Why don't we hear them be named when they are alive, brother? Why are they not? No, why are they not? Nini? We don't appreciate them when now, like Nani Oliech. We have Dennis Oliech. Why don't we even appreciate him when he's alive? That
Yeah.
guy was through misery. Alikuwa na mashida. Did you see any government helping him and giving him something? You know,
It is not, and you know, that's remind me, you know, you know, there was this lady from South Africa. I really loved her music. I did not, though what she was singing, I was not, I did not understand, but I really love her music, because I feel that her music was so much touching. And she was called Zahara, and the lady also, Liweli, I don't know whether you know her. She died, I think like it's 1 year since she died.
which song?
Oh, she used to like mm, uh Loweli Loli. I cannot say it because like it's not. She sang even like Fendula. She used to. She has a very good. There was a time even she sang for Mandela, Baba Mandela, the father of the nation. She sang well with her guitar. So what happened is that like this lady was going through a lot, you know, and you know, when she was going through a lot, nobody really spoke and nobody came into her rescue. But now when this lady died, you know, so
They
many
always come with everything, with all
yeah,
their flashy cars and everything.
yeah, and people would talk good. They say like, why should we rescue somebody when it's still, but now at that point, now that is now where we want to give you befitting send off. And you know that you'll be giving you befitting send off, but that period of 6 months or 1 year that you've lived a very miserable struggling, and they're seeing you. So when you die, that is when we do our best, you know. It's sometimes heartening to see that, especially for those who have put our country in the map, you know, appreciating them is a big deal to us, you know.
True.
Yeah.
True, and that is the thing that is happening to our country. That's why even music was finished. So many things happened. Do you see even MCSK is the one who was one of the body that finished music? Because I'm telling you, so many. You see those corporate the corporate people. They're the ones who are managing these things. They have
Yeah.
really done terrible job in management of Kenya affairs. And that's why I never appreciate any corporate body doing anything, because I always see them. They are like those hungry hyenas who are waiting, so that they can be able to rob the money. Imagine a person like Bien, who is making Kenya to the map. He's been paid 3,000 for loyalties.
Royalties,
Eh?
unajua hata zingine nilikuwa nashindwa, how do they pay this royalty, unajua. And you know, by the way, sometimes anyway, but like sometimes there are things that we need to talk about, and you know, and how even could you motivate, there's even like some young musicians who are coming, what are you doing for them, you know, what are we going to make this environment very peaceful. And that's why I did not agree, especially with deputy president, when you go and call musicians and say that you are empowering them. That one is not going to work. It's not going
He
to
was
work.
he was empowering musicians.
No, you cannot empower musicians. What you need to do, you have to make sure you put in laws that can make
you
them thrive.
you need to pay them, not to give them empowerment. Pay them their money. You owe them their money. What
Yes,
not
and
empowerment?
make sure that how can we deal with the issue of piracy? How are you going to deal with the issue of piracy? You cannot empower this person. How can you empower this person yet the environment is not even conducive for their music? As a leader, there's some of the things that you need to think. Look at for long term. Forget about the political gains. You can use it for political gain, but look at long term. The people, the young talented musicians who are coming. How are you going to make the environment? How are you going to make sure that, because not everybody knows how to compose a song. How many, Joseph, have you tried as a person to compose a song and come up with something that you feel people will leave their homes and go get entertained somewhere? It is not very easy.
It's not very, and the people, and the people I've seen in the entertainment industry that always have an edge and they always are together and they move forward, are the comedians. I really applaud those guys. If you look at the comedians, they have hold themselves as one body. Isipokuwa unasikiaga tu maishu kidogo kidogo, mtu alishindwa kumanage pesa zake or something. But the comedy industry, brother, in Kenya, that one I can really give them kudos. I think the guy called Churchill, Churchill did a very marvelous work on the comedy industry, and he helped those guys so much to open up the industry.
And another thing that also has happened with the comedians after opening for them that platform, then now the comedians themselves, they've known wanajituma, unapata, they've known that now the market has really shifted. Like, it is not very easy, especially to host, to do like a big hall, which some of them still do, but the small skits, people have gone back to the digital. Especially look at what Crazy Kena was doing. Look at, there's the Luo guy that nowadays imitate everybody, personate everybody. I don't know, the name is not very easy for me to pronounce.
I like that guy from the Luo land. What do we call him? Captain Otoyo. Do you know Captain Otoyo? I really like that. That guy, I like him because he's a man who works, brother. Even in Wima Festival, was it called Wima Festival? This was a Kikuyu festival, I think. Do you know Captain Otoyo was there? Captain Otoyo goes even to Kikuyu festivals. That guy, I really big him up. Because he was singing for the people to Gokira Tene. He was making people to laugh there. That guy, brother, I've seen I've seen them close. I've seen them close because there was a time I was doing catering for KCB. They were doing, I think, KCB at 20 years. That time was ile wakati nilikuwa kijana. I was working for Sarova Pan Africa, but sitaki kuongea mambo mingi juu ya zile mambo alituonesha bwana. Niliendea ka check, nikaambiwa nimepatiwa na umefanya masaa 24, unaambiwa umepatiwa aga 900 ama ilikuwa pesa ngapi? I don't want to talk about those issues. Those ones we'll talk them another day. But those guys, I'm telling you, you see the comedy industry, Brother Benson, even when they call you, you always see. Hata ukiwa na hii faction kubwa za nyimbo, or there's a big function, who are the people who are invited, the MCs? You'll find maybe Akina Eddie Komondi, you find maybe Captain Otoyo, maybe you find people like the so-called these guys from Kikuyu land, you find them, they are being called. You find this, the comedy industry, brother, even Akina Nani, you find them as MCs, Akina Terence, Akina, I think, it works under Ruto's governance. You have to bribe the public.
I agree with him because I agree because you're not giving us long-term solution. It is something that kwa Kiswahili tunakuja kwamba unatupumbava macho, yani ile tu, lakini hautupatie
but why do the same things and expect different results? Uhuru also did the same things na kuwaita musicians, all of them, they were in his side, but Uhuru really tried to do for them something. Do you know that is the time they came with Sikiza? You remember Sikiza?
Yes.
Sikiza, when nini wimbo yao ikichezwa Sikiza, you are told to download. But I think music industry, the person who has failed so much is the governing body called MCSK. It is a dead body.
Yeah,
MCSK is not supposed even to be a body in Kenya. It's dead. It's dead as such.
Majority of this professional, yeah, anyway, that is, but I know with the time, things will, if we get very good leadership, and I think like things will thrive, because everywhere, and in our country, mimi kitu ambacho somebody cannot convince me that the things that if are put in the proper place, my brother, we can be far, especially if
Kenya has money, brother.
Kenya
has money. Me, I know Kenya has money, because I want you to go and look at the setups. I don't know if you watch these videos. Enda tu angalia the setups nataka. Do you know I looked at Tatu City, brother? Niliangalia hiyo Tatu City nikaiangalia. Do you know Tatu City we have even industries there? Do you know Kenya we have an industry where we are manufacturing oxygen and nitrogen? You know, I would like you to go to the nilikuwa naziangalia, and we have very big industries huko Tatu City. I was looking at them like this and I'm wondering, and do you know those guys, because so many of them, they are white people who are coming from outside, they have come to invest their money. Just go and look even at the housing projects they are doing there. Leave even that one. Just go to Konza. You go and see how the land is being bought by people and how they are putting up their establishments. Do you know, by another how many years? 15, 10 years. 10 years will be very old people. Do you know, by another 10 years, I'm telling you, Kenya will have changed. You will not be knowing Kenya if you have good leadership. But you know the best thing is what? Hizi vitu kama Tatu City, Konza City, those ones are not government. Hizi vitu zinajengwa kwa sababu zimewekwa kwa nini? Kama Tatu City itaendelea kukua, unaona? There is another one called Tisli. You know Tisli? Tisli City. And they are growing. Even Kisumu, we have one. We have some city which is coming up. I've seen them. Brother, kwanza Kisumu nimeangalia Kisumu. Wajua nimeangalia Kisumu juzi because I was checking at the videos. Kisumu has changed. Kisumu is no longer the Kisumu we knew. Kisumu imetransform. And leave alone Kisumu. Kuja tu ushuke hapo Nakuru. Do you know Nakuru looks like Nairobi, brother? Nakuru and Kisumu. Lakini Eldoret, I think they are lagging behind kidogo. But I think that city will come up. But Kisumu, nakwambia, unaona Kisumu na Nakuru. And this one is, what do we call it?
Which one?
And there's another one. And Kiambu.
Kiambu.
You see Kiambu? Kiambu is growing. Unajua Tatu City iko Kiambu? Kiambu has grown. Kiambu, I'm telling you, my friend, all the people who are rich, I think they shifted to Kiambu. I think you need to go and check these videos. I always check them. And I also checked a video for Turkana. Do you know Turkana is not the same as we knew? I wish you can go and check. So I think these people who are coming, they're changing the country also, but the governance is making us slower. But the country can really change fast, because I think Kenya is the only place with the UN headquarters which is bigger. There's no other country in Africa who has UN headquarters which is big. The second one is either Rwanda.
And I think also something that might have also contributed to that, it also depends with the residents, especially the Kenyans who are in diaspora. I think like the Kenyans who are in diaspora, there are a lot of money they're sending. There's a lot of money that they're pumping into the
economy.
In the economy, in terms of those who are building their own home, even those who are building their investment, because there are people, there are majority of Kenyans who believe on as they do their retirement benefits on how they will retire, but they also pump a lot of money back at home, especially to invest in the real estate. Those who are investing in farms, those so it and that one makes the topography and how the looks, the building that are coming on, that one also might have.
Do you know, I've never told you where I come from, Brother Benson. Do you know I come from where?
Where?
My home, kwetu sasa, my dad where he stays and my mom. Si kwetu nyumbani ni tofauti. I'm saying where my dad and my mom has built. You know, wamejenga nyuma ya Lenana. Lenana school. Let me tell you, you know the land there 20 years ago was how much?
How much?
It was almost to 50,000.
Right now is millions.
Right now, brother, do you know it's almost an acre, hata si acre, wacha nikwambie a half. A half unaipata na karibu 12 million. And do you know that is, because Talanta Stadium inajengwa hapo, because when I'm even around home, it's just like 10 minutes to Talanta Stadium. Do you know that all area imebadilika, brother Benson?
Yeah, it has. I can remember when because like when I was in college and I got employed, and because like I started working before finishing college. That was the good part of it. So because I was working with one of the reputable companies in Kenya, the real estate company, very good one. My boss was
wewe ulikuwa kamdosi, mimi nikipatiwa 900, brother Benson.
My boss was an MP. My boss was MP for Yata. Tulikuwa tunaita alikuwa anaitwa Charles Kilonzo. Charles Kilonzo was my boss.
Ulikuwa unakula vizuri bwana.
Yeah. So, and if you look at the land how we used to buy land in Kisumu then, and when you look at it now, I tell you the prices have skyrocketed,
Even in Kisumu.
Then you find that even like there are days that you would beg for the people to buy, but there's some areas that you don't, and there's some areas that sometimes for you even to buy them you have to do due diligence, because you never know even if you'll be put like 3 people in one parcel of land.
Sasa unajua it's making me to laugh kwa sababu umesema hivyo. You know me, I've left my dad and mommy in Nairobi. Mimi nimeenda kununua shamba Ushago. We are shifting Ushago, and I'm telling you, we bought a land just another day there. We bought it around 700,000.
Yeah.
You know that land is how much now?
Yeah.
Just a few months ago. Saizi imefikia 1.2.
Yeah, because it did. There's so many things that contribute to that, and I can remember, there was a time that I was telling people that when you have a 10-acre plot of land and it's fronting the road, the prices will vary, especially if you divide it into portions.
The 50 by 100.
50 by 100. The ones that are next to the road, those will be expensive than the ones that are far away from the road.
Yeah. It's true, and I think also, why I get happier when you see land appreciating like that. It means also the place is growing, because land can never appreciate a place that is not growing. You look at the likes of Akina Kamakis, and do you know Kamakis and this place we call Joska? Do you know that place was swampy, brother? That place is cotton soil, black cotton soil. But saizi ukienda Kamakis, do you always hear even this radio presenter saying tunaenda kula nyama Kamakis? Kamakis has changed, brother. And I think there's even a place called Kamango. I don't know if you hear Kamango kwa huyu MP Itago Mkemani Ichung'Wa. There was a place called Kamango. Do you know that place people are not buying? I'm telling you, if right now people don't buy land, there's a time that is going to reach
where
you're going to be building flats, because land will be scarce.
Okay.
Ukitaka land unaambiwa uende uchukue kako kutoka huko Indian Ocean kwa sababu zimeisha. And then one thing I want the government to be very careful. As we continue taking these lands for building, the government is supposed also to, I don't know the one which will come, is supposed to do irrigation schemes like the one like Kalana Kulalo. Why don't we do them in the northeastern areas, and we do projects like those ones, and we say those are our food basket?
Yeah, and that's why I was telling. I was thinking. I usually say that the problem that we have is when our production, we have very less production and we have high taxes, the cost of living will not go down. Because if it is a point whereby you even import basic things, like you can import rice, you import maize, you import food stuff,
Yeah.
which means if you start to import the foodstuff, the things that are daily needed, especially for survival, then it tells you that the cost of living will be high. But if our production is high, the cost of living is going to be low, because like we will have abundance of grain, abundance of this basic need. So if that one is done, that one will be okay. But you find that the production is low, the taxes are high, that one is not matching.
Do you know, like all these unga factories you see? You
Mm.
know the one you hear Kavagara. I know you hear Kavagara Raha.
Yeah.
You hear this. Do you know all of them? The situation, Spencer, the situation where I live.
Yeah.
Pale sasa tuko sasa pale tunaishi because it is in Kutus.
Mhm.
If you go there, you can see how they are, and that's why I'm saying let the government focus. They can do pineapple plantations in Garissa
Yeah.
or in Mandera. They can do maize planting in Wajir.
Mm.
They can do all this agriculture. The thing that we just need, brother, is
Yeah.
just water.
Water,
If we
yeah.
can build boreholes to be able to irrigate these farms. I saw that Galana Kulalu project and I was very amazed. If we can have Galana Kulalu in all these dry areas, and we have them as in Garissa, in Moyale, these places that we see people are not living there so much. Why cannot we utilize these lands and we be able, even if these lands have people, let the government buy these lands so that we can be able to farm our food. Because the more we want to farm our food in these green areas, the green area spaces are limited, brother. We need to have the food being pushed to the arid areas so that we can be able to, nakwambia tukiweza kaanza kupanda chakula kama hiyo Galana Kulalu, tupande mananasi, tupande nini, tuweze kulima ma livestock huko. See, even here they always put livestock na is a dry area and they do their farming. You do your farming, you do everything, brother. Even tomatoes. Kwanza tomato itakagi mambo mingi. Tomato itaki kwanza mvua. Tomato inataka pahali kuna hiyo warmth. Ni tu irrigation utaifanya. I'm telling you, those areas now could be the food basket of our country. Tungekuwa tunatoa chakula huko, tunaileta to these urban areas. You could never hear us saying that we need food. Tungekuwa tumeshasort mambo ya chakula. So now even that area watu walikuwa na makazi, brother Benson. People could be there with work. Wengi wao wataambiwa sasa wachaneni na hii mambo ya mifugo. Hii mambo ya mifugo tunawezalisha, tuzifanye kama zero grazing, tuzifanye hivyo, then we can be able to nini, and we be having even milk ingekuwa inatoka huko, brother. Huko sasa ndio kwa processing plants za milk and water view. Yeah, so I think those are the small things we need, brother. Hata tutakaji mambo mingi.
Yeah, I think like
kuweza agriculture, health, education, and infrastructure, and economy. 5 things only. And economy. I think every Kenyan could be happy. Na hakuna mtu anataka kujua kama wewe ni president, brother Benson. Kama brother Benson ni yeye president, kama nani ndio president. What we need is services as Kenyans.
Let me tell you, if economy works and everybody get their share, in a system where everything works, people will not even care who becomes the president, who becomes the governor, because like people will be working and to make sure that they earn the money, But in a situation whereby we have what we are facing currently, that's why we are kind of like interested with hopes that, okay, if so and so becomes the president, maybe economy might not work. The economy might work, which is just assumption, because like if you look at it in that way, when you look at all these politicians, they are friends. And
walikuwa tu wametuulia Kenya, tungekuwa tumerudi nyumbani. Tunafanya nini huko? Tungekuwa tumerudi nyumbani. Nani anataka kukaa kwa hewa ya nyumbani? We could be at home, enjoying with kids. Yeah, so
hakuna mtu anataka kukaa kwa wenyewe.
Sisi ati mtu anapendaga sana, brother Benson. Ni vile tu inabidi, but if they build these things, so I think that's the problem. So on tomorrow you are coming, leo nilichelewa sana.
No, even me today I had an issue because like there's I have a function that we need to give some school some learning material, so I'm working on it. Yeah, so
sorry.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, I like the Saturday. Is it Saturday? The Saturday show. I always like it so much.
Oh, yeah, the one that will be coming. I will send you the link, especially the one that will be coming the Saturday morning. Yeah.
Yeah, that one I really like it so much.
Yeah, so we will do the recap of what happened, and because sometimes this is what sometimes I feel like even people in the media, yeah,
Yeah.
uh, how are we trying to solve the issues? Because sometimes I tend to shy away, especially when we are talking about the political class. We might come and say that, okay, President William Ruto has not done this, Raila has done this, Gachagua has not done this. But now, at the end of the day, what information are you sending to the people, and make sure that what you're saying will assist the people to make informed decision? But don't tell them to do that. But you tell that, okay, if SHA is not working, this is why we feel SHA is not working. If the opposition come and work with the government, we feel like the accountability and transparency is put in jeopardy. So if you make people work. So when I'm making a decision, what kind of a decision that I'm going to make? That I'm going to elect a leader, even if he's defeated in the polls, but he will be an opposition leader that can put the government on check.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I think we should try to reach out to these leaders. We need to ask them questions
no,
because they need to come here. I'll try my best to see if I can reach to some of them, but we need to have leaders to come here so that we can ask them these questions, because they can be listening to us, but they don't do what we say. So we need to come and ask them tough questions, so that they can be able to answer us.
But sometimes if you criticize a leader, it doesn't mean that we don't like you or we hate you. No, we are just giving our opinion that we feel that you could have done better than what you're doing right now.
I don't hate Ruto. I don't hate Ruto. I hate the policies that is implementing. Me hata sijai muona. By the way, if there is a person I've never seen with my eyes ni Ruto. Uhuru, I treat him one. Me sijaiona Ruto. So when I come and bash everybody, even Uhuru is because I saw him from afar. Kibaki hata nilimuona Kibaki kwa umbali. Kibaki kwanza alikuwa mweusi. So even singetaka kumkaribia sana, but the thing is, I don't even know them personally, but the policies that they bring, they're the ones which make us angry. So that's why we always come here to speak.
Okay, thank you so much, Gypsy Corner. Our project day will be on 7th of October. It's going to be on a Tuesday. So we will keep everyone updated. I think where we've reached now, we've reached a point whereby what we needed, I think is enough for us. We'll make that changes. Joseph, thank you so much for always being on the show. And today we've taken a long time, almost 4 hours. I've never done 4 hours.
And Gypsy Corner amefurahia sana. Muulize nini hiyo amekula leo. I think she's very happy. She's sipping anakunywa ka wine. Maybe anakunywa ka wine hapo. I think ako na furaha mingi sana leo. I think it's because the end of the week.
Okay, thank you
and
so
the
much.
End of the month. I think also it's the end of the month.
Kile mshahara utapatiwa. Yeah. So
thank you.
Because tomorrow we tend to come early, then if Makobura will pick it from where we'll be leaving. So, but tomorrow I'll come at 6:30 because that is a favorable time for me. And Joseph, thank you so much. And on Saturday we will be there in the morning hours around 7 a.m. in the morning Kenyan time, or 9 about Kenyan time. So we'll always, and Joseph, I appreciate you for your time, and may God bless you as we meet tomorrow. Gypsy Corner, also thank you so much for being with us. 3 hours is not a small time. That is a big time, and we really thank you so much. And we pray and say that you stay alive, and may God bless you as we close for today. And thank you everyone who has been with us. Those who have been supporting us, subscribe, and where you feel we've not done well, you can as well text us so that we can improve. And where we've done well, also you can tell us thank you. We will appreciate. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.